Hey, Umar, where's the school you promised?
And Umar, where's the school you promised? Hey, Umar, where's the school you promised us? We're still waiting for that school.
Hey, Umar, where's the school you promised us?
Where's the school? Is the school gonna open, Umar?
Where's the school? Is the school gonna open, Umar?
Wait, you think I'm playing? Y'all hear that? Where's the school? They're still out there. Oh, good garbage, great. What am I gonna do? I tricked off all that money. Think. I tell them we applied for our certificate of occupancy, but the city turned us down. Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning on in. We have a lot to get into. I just received some video footage of Umar. Shout out to Dr. J. Kelly. Let's go. Here we go.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's 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 coming. Oh, it's coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Good to be with you guys once again. There's a lot going on with Umar right now, and I mean a whole lot. I was saying I didn't have my microphone set up properly, so you guys might not have heard me properly, but let me know if the audio quality is good now. You fix it. Yeah. Someone just, Dr. J. Kelly just sent me some video of Umar up at these trap bandos. Y'all want to look at that first? we can start there if you want to. What's up, Rumble with JD? What's up, Enterprise? Thank you for tuning on in. Francisco's here. Afro Punk's in the building. What's up, Josavelli? Machiavelli? Where's my Uncle Ben, Aunt your mama? Uncle Ben's rice don't taste as good as it used to once they took the slave vibe off of there. And Aunt your mama's, what was it, the pancakes or whatever? It don't taste as good. Anyway, all right. Let me know if my audio's all right. What's up, Anthony? Okay, we got a lot to get into, so I'm not going to hold y'all too long. Okay, y'all want to get into that first? Okay, let's get into the video. It's hot, literally hot off the press. Like it was just, it's out. Oh, what's up? I ain't seen you in a while. I think you're talking about the documentary. I'm still working on it. I actually have to take a break. I need to update people on that, but I'm still working on it. I'm probably about 6 hours in so far, and that's just through 2011, I think. Oh, yeah, no, 2012. I think I'm into 2013 now. Is that right? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. You know, it's been a sometimes I think I've bitten off more than I can chew, but I'm just working through it step by step. It's just a matter of time. You know, I don't have time to do as much as I would like with everything else going on in my life, but I'm steady working through it. I do have like maybe I want to say around 6 hours released so far for members only. It's actually more than that. Anyway, shout out to Dr. Miss Phoebe. It's been around for many, many years. Thank you so much for being here, and it's good to see you. Thank you for all your support too. I appreciate it. You know, this Umar Johnson saga has been a wild ride. Okay, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, what's up, Malakiar? Okay, so what's up, going child? Yeah, okay, ready. Okay, so let me pull this up. It's real short, but it just goes to show you. Well, first, let me show you all this, because a lot of people are confused about this, because there's new people getting into Umar now because of everything he's been gone. Went viral on the Art of Dialogue. He's been talking reckless, and then now the mainstream, they're talking about Umar more. And I talked about this maybe a couple of months ago, or about a month ago, when Saturday Night Live did a skit clowning Umar. Well, there's more people that are doing that now because he runs his mouth a lot. But see, the truth is that he's not in a position ethically, morally, to criticize people because he's a scammer, and he's been running a scam on the Black community, dealing with this FDMG school scam for such a long time. He's still asking for money for this. He's raised millions of dollars. I've already proven that. But I just want to show you this right here. This is Umar's original Facebook page, Umar Abdullah Johnson, from January 6th of 2010. He wrote promises in 2010 to begin laying the groundwork for the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Pan African School for Black boys, specializing in learning disabilities and disruptive behavior disorder. This will be a private school, and yes, you will pay in order for your son to attend. The grand opening was set for September 11, 2013. This is chestnut checkers. This school it's almost 13 years late, but you know, we like to go based upon what's actual and factual. We're talking about roughly 12 years and 9 months now. He posted this in 2010, which was 16 years ago, but the school was supposed to open back in 2013. Since that time, my research shows that Umar Johnson has changed the grand opening date at least 30 times. In fact, I didn't pull that video up, but I won't show the video. I just want to skip to the part that shows the different grand opening dates. Let me see here. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, this is a segment from the documentary. It's about 43 minutes long, but I just want to skip through the part that shows grand opening dates. Here you guys go.
Definitely.
Okay, so if you look, he's done more since that time. Here we go. So if we look right here again, that initial date was September 11, 2013. Okay, he's been collecting. He had land donated to him back in 2012. Back in 2012. It was supposed the school was supposed to open in 2013. He starts raising money for the St. Paul school scam in 2014. Man, it's incredible how long this has been going on. Is that right? Is that right? I mean, when I really start thinking about the numbers and the dates and how long this has been going on, it's incredible to me. So September 11, 2013, and I have all this archived inside the documentary from his own mouth, August 21st of 2015, between January and July of 2015. Yeah, I know. It's just when I think about it after it's mind-boggling. August 2015, September 2016. These are all grand opening dates, 2017, 2018, August 21st of 2018. Let me take myself off. August 21st of 2019, August 21st of 2020, summer of 2021, fall of 2021, summer of 2021, fall of 2022, September 10th of 2022, fall of 2023, February 20 of 2023, December 2023, January 2024, February 2024, sometime in 2024, sometime in 2025, August 2025, end of 2025. And this is in order of when he said this. So even he said sometime in 2025, he said this in 2024, then he said August of 2025, and then he said the end of 2024. It's crazy. February of 2025, August of 2025, September of 2025. He also said August of 2026, and he also said in 2027. So there's more than what's on here on the screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. And actually there's 2 over here. So 9, 18, 27, that's 28. And so we can add 29 and 30, at least 39 different grand opening dates. And this goes all the way back to 2010. So he's been at this, changing the grand opening. He's still collecting money for it. Changed the grand opening dates. Again, it was supposed to open September 11, 2013. And he set this back in 2010. By the way, he conceptualized FDMG in 2004, based upon what he says. And he's still running with it and still collecting money, still scamming Black people. And I want to show you guys video footage that's literally hot off the press. Okay, just sent to me. Let me pull this up. This is the first one, and they're short. Okay, this is Umar. And actually, this is Umar sitting inside a rental car. See, Umar doesn't even own his own vehicle. He's been homeless since 2019. But he uses donation money to rent vehicles. So this is not his vehicle. He's sitting out in front of these trap bandos. He's not doing anything. Notice that there's no work being done, no renovation work being, he's just chilling. Okay, and then another video was sent to me, and this is where we'll see Umar. Here we go. And shout out to Dr. J. Kelly. So that's, you can see Umar at the door. See him, he has on the kufi. See, this is nothing more than the kick it spot. Umar's had these trap bundles since February of 2019. There we go, Afro Frontic. I'm like, wait a minute, is that right? Is that right? February of 2019. He's been sitting on these trap bundles for over 7 years and counting. It's just a kicker spot. It's like something that he has. He can go up to whenever he wants to. He collects money from Black people for these trap bandos. Not one Black child's been educated. Now, did you guys see that? It's hard to see because there's a car that passes by. You know what I think? I think someone's living in there. You see this? What time would this be in Philadelphia? This was sent to me at, okay, so this would be at 8:10 p.m. Why is this guy, what is this guy doing in these buildings at 8:10? That's supposed to be a school for Black boys. Y'all tell me, who y'all think is in there? I think he got people living in there. Okay, it's the kicker spot. Let me play it again. It's a damn shame. Millions of dollars raised. Millions. Man, this is so ridiculous. Again, he said the grand opening was September 11, 2013. Is June 1st of 2026. He acquired these trap bandos that he turned into his own kicking spot. He also stores his own personal belongings in the large gym across the street. They're supposed to open in 2013, but he said this in 2010. And all we have to show for in 2026 is Umar hanging out with the homie. Look at that. That's what I'm saying. He really is not the one to talk about anyone. Period. He's raised millions of dollars. He's lied to the IRS. He got his first nonprofit status back in 2015. He didn't even file with the IRS how much money he collected for 2015, 16, or 17. So they revoked his nonprofit status. Well, where'd all that money go? He already had raised $1 million by that time. See, this is what it's reduced to. After all of these years, he gets nonprofit status again in 2020, but it's not retroactive for that year or for 2019. And he lied to the IRS. He's telling the IRS that he's spending 60 hours a week up there at these trap bandos doing work. No, it's just a kick it spot. And there's people who still believe this foolishness. But the good thing is that more and more people are waking up in the mainstream. They're starting to pick up on this too, including SNL. And there's a comedian, we'll get into that a little bit later on, who went back at Umar, and we'll watch some of that as well. Okay, so that's what's on the and then we're also going to be looking at some of Umar's comments about the roast, the Kevin Hart roast. And what's interesting about that is, again, Umar has everything to say about everyone else. And in the video, he's complaining about stuff, and he also complains about how it's vulgar. But Umar, he's one of the most vulgar people, especially the SETI rant. And when he's talking about women's private parts, he's not the one to talk. Okay, so we're going to get into those two things, and then I'm going to be pulling up some examples of Umar flipping out and acting a doggone fool, cursing people. Okay, yeah, his name is Shane Gillis. Okay. By the way, let me play this for you guys. I know I've played it many times before, but just so that people can understand how much money Umar Johnson raised. Again, we're in 2026, but let's go back to a video from 2016.
Physical. It's a very big issue. And the reason black, you got to love up on that little girl so she don't feel a need to get loved up on.
By the way, he's not even an active participant in any of his children's life. He's a deadbeat. He's been on child support for over 23 years now and doesn't pay child support on time. He's had his license revoked for non-payment. See, he's not the one to talk. Who I don't get this. Why is it that people think that somehow Umar is the person to speak on behalf and should be the person to speak on behalf of black people? He's a deadbeat. He don't take care of his kids. He has at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone. I'll propose he has more out there because he's a sexual deviant. But at least 3 baby mamas. 3 of them put him on child support. A 4th woman attempted to put him on child support, but was unsuccessful. And yet he has everything. And then he gets up here in 2016. He was a deadbeat then. He's a deadbeat now. He don't take care of none of his kids. And last year he went on his daughter for exposing him as a deadbeat, and then told his followers to go at her online, and she had a mental breakdown and they had to admit her. And Umar did nothing to help her whatsoever. Then she went homeless. He did nothing to help her whatsoever. And he's still not doing anything. He's busy up at these trap bandos. There's people living in those trap bandos. And I'm telling you guys right now, I've already been telling people, Umar has a substance abuse issue. A lot of this money's gone towards the substance abuse issues. He's more preoccupied with that than with his own children. And yet he's up here at this black men's conference, fathers conference, whatever, and he ain't take care of not one child. And don't even pay child support on time, let alone be an active participant. What kind of man? And yet he's the person that's supposed to be speaking on behalf of black people. Okay, let me pull this up because I got to see what the time stamp is for this particular video. Okay, it's at the 17. No, is it this one? Yeah, 17-minute mark. Okay, let me skip to the 17-minute mark. Here we go.
You save from what you make. Terrible time of the calendar year for black folks, because how does a holiday dedicate Jesus Christ, who did not believe in materialism?
Here we go. Yeah, this is the men's conference. Here we go.
Even if they come to the game, she's on that. Brothers and sisters, you all know that I've been working to build the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy for our boys. And for my young men in college, if you want to work at the school, send me a resume.
He's been collecting resumes since at least 2010. There's no jobs available. Resumes for what? There's still no school. There are abandoned buildings. He got people living in there. It's a kicking spot. He go up in there and he blazes up. I got evidence of him too, talking with Brother Manny, rest in peace, when they was up in there blazing up.
Folks who are not in college, you want to work at the school, you can send me a resume. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy will be the world's first academy dedicated to teaching our sons the principles of revolutionary Pan African nationalism and international economics. That means that by the time your child has done their 14th year, 9th grade, they will know how to do their own taxes. By the time they've done their 15th year, 10th grade, they will already have a business plan. By the time they've done their 16th year, 11th grade, they will be trading stock on Wall Street.
Again, this is the art of overselling. This is what con men do. Umar's a con artist.
By the time they graduate,
yeah, the brothers leaving. They don't want to hear this foolishness.
Master real estate in their native hometown. The school is based on the premise that if you understand how money works, if you understand the laws of money, you can become financially empowered without a college degree. I'm not against college. My boys will.
This is someone talking about being empowered, financially empowered, and yet he's been living off of black people since at least 2011. So we're talking 15 years. He hasn't worked as a school psychologist. Last time he worked was in 2010. I give him a little grace, say 2011. He still pretends that he's a school psychologist. He holds no certifications. He's never been licensed, but he still tells people that. He's a con man. It's like Cheyenne Bryant. She's a liar, pathological liar too. I think she's habitual because she'd be lying for no reason. But Umar, everything about him is fake, and yet he's the person that Art of Dialogue brings. I know he gets a lot of views. That first video went viral, and I expected it to do so, dealing with the Kevin Hart roast. But Umar, ethically and morally, he's bankrupt. how he talks about black people is always disrespectful. So he's not the one to be talking about what other people he thinks. What about what Umar's doing or what he's not doing? He don't even take care of his own kids. But the point I want to make is that Umar's always talking about what black people need to be doing with money, blah, blah, blah. This guy hasn't held a job or a legitimate business in over 15 years. And what does he have to show for it? He's homeless, living with his mama at the age of 51. He's about to be 52, but this is the person to speak on behalf of black people. He got everything to say about everybody else. But see, the critical question is, Umar, what about you? Okay, we're going to get into it. But listen to what he says about the financials. This is, again, from November 19th of 2016.
More than prepared for college for those who want to major in careers that require it. But for my young brothers who don't necessarily want to be something that requires a college education, we will give them another avenue through financial empowerment. I want the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy to be a residential school. They will live there, they will sleep there. This is important because education should not stop at 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, when they get out of school using this, they're going to learn how to use these. 3 o'clock until 10 time on Monday, they learn how to fix cars.
Okay, again, this all sounds nice, but I have a video of Umar talking about how he was never taught to use his hands, and the reason why is because his father was absent, just like Umar was a deadbeat too. Umar, he's not a working type of man, meaning working with his hands. He just doesn't have that. But he'll oversell, again, as part of the con. Yeah, we're going to teach your boys how to work with their hands. But I have a video where he admits that he doesn't know how to work with his hands. Ironically, his father was initially in the military. He was an auto mechanic, and yet Umar knows nothing about any of that. But that's because his father wasn't present in his life. And yet he's the person that's going to save these black boys. A lot of this is psychological for Umar. It's his way of resolving his own issues of abandonment, his own issues of not being taught certain things. His imaginings of what his ideal childhood should have looked like, I guess you would say. So he would have wanted that father figure to show him those things, but he didn't have that. So he conceptualized FDMG based upon his own childhood traumas, and then he throws in the military aspect of it because he was sent away to a military academy when he was in the 9th grade. So a lot of this is psychological, but what he's doing is he's overselling what he's going to do for black people, but none of this comes into fruition because he's a con man.
3 o'clock until dinner time on Tuesday, they're learning how to farm in agriculture. 3 o'clock until dinner on Wednesday, they're learning African martial arts. You understand?
This guy said African martial arts. It has to be African. All right. No, you're right. There's nothing wrong. The idea, but again, the idea is a fallacy. Right? And many of us grew up without fathers. I did. Many of y'all in the chat room did. So that's not really the issue. The issue is how Umar, he's translating or transposing his own issues from childhood onto this idea, and then he throws extra on top of it to sell it to black people as a solution for those black boys who need this type of guidance or types of services, economic, financial, educational. But then he's used that to raise millions of dollars to support his self-destructive lifestyle. See, that's where the problem is. Furthermore, it is also a problem when he's projecting his own issues and using that as a manipulative ploy against black people, in particular single black mothers who have these issues with fear associated with their sons who don't have fathers. But Umar's a deadbeat himself. Okay. The irony of all this is really interesting, even from a psychological perspective. A lot of what Umar Johnson does is projection. He has a long history of that. But to weaponize these things against black people, to manipulate them financially, I think that that's diabolical for a school that still does not exist. And it's nowhere close. I would just show the video that Umar, he goes up there to these trap bandos. He's not live streaming up there anymore. He goes up there and some random dude opens up the door. Why? Well, because it's the kicking spot. I told people that back in 2019. And here we are in 2026. Ain't nothing changed. All right. Okay, let's keep going.
So you guys know I've been raising money for this initiative for about 2 years. We've raised over $700,000 in that amount.
Okay, $700,000 in 2 years. Think about it. It's actually closer to 2 years, and it's about 2 years and 6-7 months at that point. $700,000. This is in 2016. And then we can fast forward in 2000. When was he on the Roland Martin show? On the Roland Martin show in 2017, he said he was at 750,000. So how do you go from in 2016, you go from 700,000 and you raise that in 2 years in roughly 7 months. You go from 2016, the end of 2016 to July of 2017, you only raise 50,000 more dollars? No. But it's even deeper than that. Watch what he says here.
Time will probably be crossing a million, by New Year's. So
okay, he's saying 1 million by January of 2017. Think about it. If Umar's at 1 million at 2017, I have another video where he says he's at 1 million at that time too. But 2017, if you're at 1 million at 2017, I also have a video where he says he's at 1 million in 2016. Let's go with 2017. If Umar's saying that he's at 1 million by the beginning of 2017, why does he say 750,000 on July 10th, 2017 on the Roland Martin show? See, because most of this money Umar has spent on himself. The purchase price for these trap banners was 400,000. Umar says it was 750. No, 400,000. By 2016, Umar had already raised enough money to purchase these trap bandos. And yet, where's the rest of the money since that time then? And the money that would have been left over. 2006, this is a decade ago. Y'all hear what I'm saying here? Does this make sense? All this should be outlined in the documentary. I'm going to go step by step with the financial aspect of this. A decade more of raising money after he was already at $1 million. And what do we have to show for it? And where's the money? Again, yeah, you're right, East B. Let's be clear. Umar has an eating problem. He gorges. Okay, I don't know what the terminology is for that, but he eats and he just keeps eating and he keeps eating. Okay, but it's an addiction thing. Umar has substance abuse issues. Umar likes to drink gin. Umar also he likes to gamble. I have videos of him gambling. He likes to rent cars, which is expensive. He likes to travel. He don't have a job. He hasn't worked a job consistently since 2006, intermittently from 2006 to 2010 in the charter school system in Philadelphia. Outside that, I have Umar working as a school psychologist a school principal for about 3 months. Other than that, he doesn't work. So this money has gone towards, it's expensive to rent cars. It's going towards his lifestyle, self-destructive lifestyle. Yeah, he's gluttonous. That's what it is. He likes to binge eat. That's why he's overweight and he's obese. And I'm not saying that to be funny or to be disrespectful, but he's obese. Well, a lot of the money has gone towards these different addictions. A lot of money's gone towards paying child support. And the list goes on and on and on. Okay, let me get back to, let's get into the main video. Okay, let me do these super chats real quick. Shelly became a new member. Thank you so much, Shelly. I appreciate it. Enterprise says, Umar's at the traps, time for a counter lie. All right. Well, let me know. Okay, we will be back tomorrow. If you haven't by then, just let a brother know. Thanks, Enterprise. A counter lie. That's hilarious. Thank you for the super chat. Daxter says, Jermaine, a.k.a. Umar, a.k.a. Code 130, kaboom. That's the Umar funny. What's kaboom? All right, thanks, Daxter. User 55 says, didn't you say SNL clown Umar Johnson? Can we watch that? Yeah, they did. I didn't download that video, but they did. I'll tell you what happened. There's what do they call that? The nightly news skit thing that they do, the bit. They've been doing this for decades. This goes way back. But the guy said something to the effect that I'm going to donate to FDMG. I mean, he was joking, but he's going to say his yearly earnings to FDMG. So more and more people in the mainstream, they're waking up to this FDMG school scam. Right now, Umar, if he wasn't so outwardly vocal and always running his mouth, such as when he's on the Art of Dialogue, he's largely he's been under the radar for the most part, with very few exceptions. He's been under the radar. He's mainly been, his main critics have come from the African American community or the Black community, mainly. But now we have mainstream people, including this comedian that Umar called Neanderthal. We're gonna get to that in just a moment. That they're seeing Umar for who he really is. Okay, SNL, they know, and I'm sure more know about who Umar Johnson is than before. So, and I talked about this. So, what tends to happen is with these scam artists, especially in the Black community, the ones online in particular, is they get away with stuff for a very long time because it's mainly affecting the Black community. And what happens is that once they get caught and hemmed up into something, it could be some legalities or whatever. That's when the larger society, if you will, they will report on it. Okay, and then if charges are pressed, and let's say they go to jail, Nature Boy as an example, Polite, then the mainstream, they'll do a documentary on them, like Nature Boy. They did one on Hulu more recently. But it has to get to that point. That point is like critical mass. And what happens is prior to critical mass, you start to see mainstream people take notice. And now that's happening over the last month or so. That's what's been happening with Umar. So that's why the thumbnail for this I put on there. They watching, and they are. Okay, and Umar, the more he runs his mouth, and the longer he runs his school scam. And I'm gonna tell you that if the IRS ever truly audits him, he claims that they did, but they didn't, because if they did, they would have known right away he's a scammer. He's not even reporting to the IRS how much money he's made for two. He has two different EIN numbers. The first time he didn't report to the IRS. 2014, 15, 16, and 17. If they looked and if they subpoenaed his bank records, his Cash App got shut down for fraud. His GoFundMe got shut down for fraud. His Plum phone got shut down for fraud. His first PayPal account that he was using to get money out of people got shut down. Y'all see a pattern here? So once it reaches critical mass, and if he's ever audited by the IRS, and listen, they're gonna find out very quickly, because I already know, I can already show you guys the receipts. They got people, professionals who do that. That's their job. And he gets hemmed up like that. Okay, that's when the mainstream gonna take notice. And if he goes to jail for tax evasion or tax fraud or wire fraud, because that's what he's doing, and he's been doing for over a decade, that's when Netflix or Hulu, they'll decide to do a document. I did one on him already. I'm working on the second one now. Okay. Anyway, that's what happened with the SNL thing. This goes to show you that the mainstream they're paying attention a little bit more than before. Okay? And I'll say this again, that if Umar was committing these acts of fraud against the white community or any other community, let me just say the white community, more white people would have taken notice a lot sooner. Okay, but because his main target demographic is single Black mothers, it's not something that the dominant society is really worried about. Okay, and it is what it is. Okay, thank you, user 225. Enterprise says, why can't I catch him up there like this? I'm just no, don't worry about it. You ain't got to catch him. Just go do what you do. You all good. Shout out to Enterprise. Man, that's wild. Umar's up there, and there's someone. I'm wondering, does Umar have a key? Why does he have to wait for the guy to open up the door for him? Y'all think that's weird? Maybe he does have. I mean, he should have a key. Yeah, it looks like the guy opened it from the inside. Because when Umar steps back, the door doesn't open. Like he's pulling it. Well, maybe it does. Let's see. Yeah, because he reaches with his other hand to open it. Yeah, they let him in. The guy let him in. Okay, that's what you call the kicking spot. No Black children are being educated. This guy collected millions of dollars. Again, he's at $1 million a decade ago. And he would have collected that $1 million within the first 2.5. No, wait a minute. Is that right? 2014. The first 2.5 years, he's at $1 million. Okay, here we are 10 years later. Where y'all think he's at now? It's crazy. All right, thanks, Enterprise. Miss Honey says, do you think Umar will go to jail for his scams? If the IRS does, if they audit him and they subpoena everything, his bank accounts, his PayPal accounts, all the information, his GoFundMe, his CashApp, mainly, I mean, his CashApp, big time. His checks and money orders that were sent to his P.O. box, there's cash that was sent there too to his P.O. box, cash that people gave him at speaking of venues for donations. They wouldn't be able to track all of that. I mean, this guy could have received $500,000 in cash since 2014. I mean, it's a long time, 12 years. It's possible. Again, Umar claims that land was donated to him in 2012. So he was collecting donations before 2014. Where did that land go? It was in San Bernardino, California. He also said in Philadelphia. Okay, where did that land go? Okay. If they subpoenaed, they would have to subpoena everything. Personal bank accounts, any business bank accounts associated with FDMG, and just do a full audit and follow the money, see what the money's, how much money's come in. I'll tell you guys, it's going to be close to $3 million. And then how much money has gone out specifically to FDMG versus the money that Umar Johnson has spent on himself. Okay, he would go to jail. I guarantee it. Thanks, Miss Honey. U225 says, quick question chat, $200 to whoever slashed. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, we don't advocate that. All right. Let's not even talk like that. All right. Okay. By the way, I brought this up earlier, and I didn't cover this when this was going on because it's a young lady. At the time, I think she was 22 years old. She might have been 23 by that time. But she came out and exposed Umar as a deadbeat last year. It was towards the beginning of the year. And Umar, he goes on this campaign to discredit her and disparage her, and then he tells his followers to go at her in her DMs. He's done that with his other critics. He's done that with me, but he's done it with a lot of his critics over the years. He won't even say my name these days. But what ended up happening is she wasn't ready for that. Now I would think that she wouldn't be, because the internet social media can be a very brutal place. And then how Umar operates with his cult-like members is he'll tell them to do things and they'll go and do it, and they're not thinking about her, they're thinking about him. He's supposed to be the parent, he's supposed to be the father, but that's what he does. And it's calculated because he's done that to other people over the years. And that's what they go in and they start going at her. And it affects her emotionally and mentally, and she has a mental breakdown. And she's admitted. And based on what she said, that was the first time that she had been admitted. Okay, that's just horrible. And Umar didn't do anything to help. And then not too long after that, she became homeless. And the last time I checked, she was still homeless. And Umar has everything to say. He's being brought to speak at men's conferences, and he's telling black men and black fathers what we should be doing with our children. And look how he did his own daughter. And then in the aftermath, he don't even help her because he doesn't care. Yeah, he's evil. What's up? D. Will says, all the young brothers walking out, ain't nobody coming to see you, Umar. Yeah, a lot, even today, because that's an old video from a decade ago. But today in 2026, these young people, they see Umar like a meme. He's like a Sambo type of character. I don't mean to use that terminology. Let me take that back. He's more like a shucking and jiving type of a character because they find him to be humorous more. He's funny, but they see him as being humorous more than anything else. They don't take him seriously because there's nothing serious about Umar. He runs his mouth and then he acts a fool. That's the appropriate word. Umar he's like a gesture, like a court gesture. That's what he is. That's the right term. Yeah. And young people see him in that way. Now they still see him as a celebrity in that sense, but the celebrity has to do with Umar's buffoonery. Okay, he's a buffoon, and that's how most young people see him these days. And because he's on social media has a lot of social equity, especially amongst young people. They still see him as a celebrity. So they want to take pictures and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, they don't take him seriously. They look at him as more of a buffoon character that gets online. He's older, but he acts a fool and it's funny. And he's funny. He's a funny guy. Okay. Thank you, D. Will. What's up, Lewis Luck says, unless my eyes deceive me, ain't there a ginger on the right and another white man in the front row? Yeah, that's the video from 2016. Captain Pan African is a phony. Okay, and that's at the men's conference. See, Umar's not doing that type of stuff these days, though. But back then, he would do it. He would, yeah, there will be white people that will come out specifically to listen to Umar too, because he even in lectures will specifically for him, because that's a conference, so they had other speakers. So some of those people might have been there for other speakers. They're not specifically there for Umar, but Umar, he'll if they're gonna pay him, he'll talk in front of anybody. He don't care. It's like the podcast, the podcast, because James said that they were talking about me. We're gonna get into that one tomorrow. Okay, just to let y'all know. James said they was talking about me and talking shit. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But they wouldn't say my name. Okay, well, that goes to show you the cowardice. But see, Umar doesn't want people to come over to my YouTube page because I'll show the receipts. And when I show the receipts, I'm not trying to paint a narrative or lie or anything like that. Okay, I've been wrong on certain things. And I always come on here and I correct myself. I hold myself accountable every single time for the mistakes that I've made here. Okay, but I operate with integrity. It's just that I'm not perfect. Okay, I recognize that. But when I do screw up, and it hasn't been many times, when I do screw up, I always get on here and I apologize to the audience. Also, in some cases, I've apologized to Umar. But the point I want to make is that Umar, he will do anything, especially these days, because the school scam is not bringing in the type of money that it used to, because more and more people have woken up that it's a scam and they've sent this guy millions of dollars. So Umar, he's trying to do these podcasts more and more. Okay, Joe Budden, The Breakfast Club, The Art of Dialogue, and then now there's this other one, and they were talking, they just wouldn't say my name, but Umar doesn't want anybody to say my name, because if people come over here, there's going to be a conversion rate. There always is. But I went over there to go look at the video. There was only like 50 views. Something that Umar doesn't understand. He thinks he's big time, but when he goes on these like he calls black people who criticize him struggle streamers, well, these are struggle streamers. And they have Umar on, they're not doing big views. They're doing bigger views than what they normally do. But they're not doing big numbers. And I'm talking about compared to our dialogue. And what Umar doesn't understand is that the reason why he does well on the Breakfast Club, because they already have their audience built in. The reason why he does well on the Breakfast Club, or he used to, was because they have their audience built in. You let him go on one of these, what he would call a struggle streaming platform, he's not going to get a lot of views, because most people ain't checking for him like that. They don't have a built-in audience. But Umar thinks the reason why he gets all these views on our dialogue is because he's Big Papa. No, our dialogue already has his audience built in. Our dialogue has Umar come on like a court gesture to gossip about black people. That's what that shit is. And it gets a lot of views. But Umar can't do that himself. He can't set up a YouTube page and do views like that. His Instagram page, when he goes live, he can't even get 1,000 people. He got over 1.3 million followers or something like that. He can't even get, last time that he did one, he had like 400 people up in there. Okay, we got 937. I'm not even a big time YouTuber. I'm a struggle streamer according to Umar, but we have a good time though. Okay, anyway, I'm going off. Thanks, Lewis Luck. Okay, D. Will also says Umar going to have Dragonfly Jones and Kenji teaching martial arts at the school. Yeah. Again, these are just head movies. Umar oversells. He was talking about doing like martial arts instruction way back before people knew who Umar was on the internet. Can you see Umar doing some martial arts? He give him a Twinkie. Shit, he'll whoop a Twinkie's ass. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I shouldn't do that. Listen, you give Umar a Twinkie, boy. Listen, boy, that kung fu is strong. Let me stop. I'm just playing. Thanks, D. Will. Yeah, it's just Umar. He's overselling. Okay, that's all that is. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Everyone else too. Thanks for all the super chats. Lewis Suck also says either FDMG is a kicking spot or the zombies up there stopped chasing Umar and started guarding the building for him. But I think Lewis Suck, well, for one, I think it is a kicking spot. Okay. I think Umar, he uses that. It's like, could he engage in illegal activities? I'll say it that way, at his mama's house. Yeah, probably. Okay, but why not go over there to these trap bandos that he's had for over 7? It's convenient. Listen, I remember one time, I kid you not. I don't know. Yeah, Lewis, like you were around back then. I just can't find the video. I have it. We did this live stream, and Umar was inside of the small gym. I'm gonna run back to it. I'm gonna run into it again at some point. He was in the small gym and he was just walking around and just showing people stuff. And there was like these desks. He would open up a desk and he would open up a drawer and for no reason. Okay? It's a kicking spot. And then he opened up this one drawer and I'll tell you, I kid you not, it looked like a crack pipe in there. I kid you not. And listen, I know what a crack pipe looked like. Not that I've ever hit that crack pipe, but I grew up around the shit, so I know what it looked like. Hit the one. Okay, that was some information, man. Anybody remember that? I remember, and when I saw it, I wanted to go in, but then I said, let's just move on. And Umar closed it real quick. I said, oh, here we go. Let's just move on. Anyway, but yeah, see, there's people that remember that, but I haven't run back into the video. But just to make the point, I want to be clear about something. That's what I mean by it's the kicking spot. And Umar blazed up in there. I have evidence of that as well. Okay, and it's convenient. I mean, he's had them for 7.5 years. It's not like there's any teachers or faculty staff, no children. No, he goes up there. It's something to do because he don't have a job. You know, I think that guy that opened up that door is living in there. Let's do a poll on that. Okay, let's do a poll on that. Because I forgot to set up a poll. By the way, we have 974 people in the building. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that like button. Our goal is 500. We're already at 270. Okay. So y'all help me out on this poll. Who is the guy that opened the door at the Bandos? Okay, and we're gonna come up with 4 options. Option number 1, it's a worker. Option number 2 is the plug. Option number 3, it's a tenant. That's what I think. That lives there. Option number 4, Umar's smoke buddy. Do I have another? Yeah, East B, maybe a fiend. Let's go with East B. Let's go with East B. We're gonna put Umar's fiend friend. We gonna go South East B. Fiend friend. Okay, so who is the guy that opened the door at the Bandos? You have 4 options: a worker, the plug, a tenant that lives there, or Umar's fiend friend. Yeah, but we gotta. Well, I know it's not a worker because ain't nothing being done up there. So let's take the worker out of there, and then we're gonna put on here all of the above because it could be all of the above. Okay, the poll is going up. Go on and get your vote in when you guys get a moment. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Little Suck. All right. CJ says, Lenon, he ain't raised $1 million. Yeah. Again, that's what he told Big Loon. He's supposed to be on the Big Loon coming up too. We'll cover it. That's what he told Big Loon, that he hadn't raised $1 million. But we can go back to 2016. He was already at $1 million. I mean, the guy, he's a liar and he's a con man. He's a scam artist. Thank you, TJ. Can I gotta do these other quick because we got to get going here, man. This time be going by so quick, especially on Mondays. Man, make this crook a multi-millionaire and still giving. Yeah. And the thing, Derek, is it's not that Umar is a multi-millionaire, but he's raised millions of dollars. It has to be around 3 million by now. Again, if Umar raises so January 1st of 2017, he's at $1 million. Okay, I also have him saying in 2016 that he was at $1 million. But let's go with January 1st of 2016. If Umar's at $1 million, he starts raising money in the spring of he says, that's what he says, even though he's collecting donations in the form of land prior to that. And there's people online that said that they donated to Umar for FDMG back in 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. But land was donated to him in 2012, according to Umar. But we're going to go with 2014. That's the spring of 2014. So let's say, because I've heard him say May, and I've also heard him say April. of 2014. Let's go with May. Let's go with April. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Okay, so that's 10 months there, and 2 years and 2 years and 10 months, Umar Johnson raises $1 million. And then he raises money and continues to raise money for another decade. He's got to be around $3 million by now. One could argue, well, he doesn't get the type of money he used to. Yeah, you can argue that too. But remember that Umar, he gets a cash infusion when he acquires these trap bundles in 2019. Money starts flowing in like crazy again because people get excited. And 2020, same thing. 2021, the same thing. Okay, we can even look at his IRS filings. He was bringing in money. So he should be around $3 million, especially if we want to count the land that was donated to him in California, San Bernardino, California, and the land that was donated to him in Philadelphia. That has value as well. And then the land that he says was donated to him in Ghana. Okay. But the point is, it's not that Umar is a multi-millionaire today, but he's raised millions of dollars. It's got to be around $3 million, give or take, a little less, a little more. And he's still, and people still giving him money. But what does Umar have to show for it? He's been homeless since 2019. Thanks, Derek. Little Rock says, sipping on gin and juice, laid back. My mind on my money, my money on my mind. Yeah, I remember that. Thanks, Little Rock. Guys, know what says, kick his spot or flop house. Okay, let me check the poll now that you said that. Who is the guy that opened the door at the Bandos? 18% says Umar's fiend friend. 8% said the plug. 15% a tenant that lives there, and 59% said all of the above. Let me play it again. Okay, we can figure this out right now. No, just here you go, guys. So, well, wait, is this the right one? No, yeah, it is. Here it is. And you know what's crazy is Umar, he was sitting out here in the car for a long period of time too before he finally got out and went to the door. I don't know what that's about either. See, that's crazy. I have another video. He's just sitting in the car. Yeah, there you go. And there, you see his friend with the blue shirt on? Yeah, man, it's just sad. Not one black child has been educated. This is what it's come down to. You got the homie, I think the homie living in there, real talk. It could be the guy that, remember Umar was cleaning those desks? Let me go pull that video. Let's just do a little detective work. Why not? Y'all remember the video where Umar, he was cleaning desk and he was live streaming. And then there's a brother that popped up out of nowhere. And Umar was like, I'm live streaming, King. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I know I have it because we played it. I think we played it last week. Here we go. No, this ain't it. This is when he was just showing the desk. This is the one right here. This is the last time he was up there. It was about 2 months ago. I'm talking when he was up there live streaming. It was about 2 months ago. Thanks, Goddess Noel.
What happened was. Look up my
Live.
It might be this guy.
Live. Live.
Man, this is wild. But you called a kick it spot. I mean, we can't tell here clearly, but it could be. But I mean, he's ain't no telling. He might got 5 or 6 people living up here. Ain't no telling. Umar might got 5, 6, 7 people living in here. Anyway, all right. He hit you with that lightning bolt. Booyah! Okay, I think I have that one queued up. Yeah, I have that one queued up. That'll be the outro song. That's this one right here.
What I got to do is come to sleep, drink, or never balance.
Especially when the sex is good. He hit that spot. Booyah! I love you. No, you don't. You in lust.
Umar funny. He's so funny. T also says Umar teaching partial arts for payments. Yeah, partial, because he paid child support in bulk, so he's going to be doing partial arts. Okay. All right, thanks, TJ. All right, I got to get through these quick, everybody. You should put TD Jakes as one of the options. Don't do TD like that. Okay, thanks. So Kadar says the homie that Umar was going to lend a couple of dollars to. Yeah, you remember that? When he said his bank accounts were frozen, he tried to blame it on me. He said I hacked his bank account. Umar, cut it out. Ain't nobody hacking your bum ass bank account. That's stupid. A hacker's not gonna. Let me stop. Anyway, thanks, Kadar. YouTube Defi says Umar escort Tunda accepting in calls. No, use $225 because the escort wouldn't be there before Umar got there. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's right. All right. Enterprise says option number. No, you guys are going too far. Okay, you guys are going too far. And then Derek says FDMG finessing these measly goofies. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, it's sad because again, millions of dollars, and Umar, he doesn't care. I mean, and then we get into the main video. What incentive does Umar Johnson have to change the formula? Perhaps because money's not coming in as much as it used to. Is that enough incentive? I don't think so, because at the end of the day, there's still people sending him money, and he doesn't have to do anything for it. So why not just have this money come in and it's free money? So there's no incentive really, and so in other words, he'll just keep finessing, and that's what this has been about. It's been about this from the beginning. There's people who have argued, and it's a legitimate argument, I think, on the surface level, that Umar had good intentions in the beginning. But if you put it in a historical perspective and then you do enough research, you'll realize very quickly that he never intended on opening up a school. He could have taken the land that was donated to him back in 2012 and just built something on top of that by 2016, because he's already at $1 million. Why didn't he do that? Because it's a long con. Again, by now he's raised at least around $3 million. He's been sitting on these abandoned buildings that he paid $400,000 for. He tells people $750,000 because then he can just wipe clear $350,000. That $350, he spent that money on himself, plus all the other money that he's done tricked off over the years. It's a long time, over a decade. But even still, if he acquires these trap bundles in February 2019 for $400,000, and he's at $1 million in 2016, let's say the beginning of 2017. Well, 2 more years of collecting donations, he should have been at least around 1.5 million by 2019, and he spends $400,000, and then he tells people he ain't got no more money left. Where'd the $1.1 million go prior to that that he had collected? Where'd all that money go? See my point? That doesn't show good intentions. So he continues to finesse because he has no incentive to change. Now, if the IRS truly comes down on him, he'll have to stop, but then he'll go to another scam because that's what they do. People like Jay Morris and Umar, Polite, Cheyenne, Bryant. All right, thanks, Derek. Derek also, yeah, I got that. Okay, and then FDMG Treasurer says, y'all remember when Umar was charging hundreds of dollars for dates? #escort tuna. Yeah, I remember that. It was called a date with the doctor. If memory serves me correctly, I think he was trying to charge $500. Okay, that's just a hustle. He's trying to come up on some money. Y'all remember that? I think it was $500. Okay, he out here tricking. Let me stop. He's not tricking. He's hoeing. He's trying to get that money. He said, "Listen, I'll go on a date with you for $500." He'll hoe. That's all that is. But if that's what it takes, he'll anything for that money. But that's what these kind of people, let me stop. Except if you treasurer. And then Lewis says, I don't think he ever had any intention of opening a school. I also don't believe he thought he would get the amount of support he got. I totally agree with. I would agree with both of them. I think one of the bigger things too in this is, in all fairness to Umar, I don't think that Umar thought that he would get the type of money, the amount of money that he would inevitably receive. I don't think so. So initially he said he needed to raise $1 million, then he changed it to 2 million. And I think that's how it went. Or he started with 2 million, then he went to 4 million, and then he went to 5 million. But the person would know is Black Anonymous. I haven't seen Black Anonymous around in a while. Hope they're doing okay. So when he starts raising money for the St. Paul's College, he says that he's trying to raise, I think he said 2 million. The starting bid was 2.5 million, but he starts with 2 million. That goes to show you he didn't have any intent to open up a school. That's just to get money out of people. But that money was flowing in quickly, very quickly. Okay, not to what he had wanted, because he was mad at his donors for a while. But over the years goes to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we get into a decade of this. No, he didn't anticipate this, him being able to get this type of money out of Black people for this extended period of time. Not at all. But what incentive does he have to change? He doesn't have any. It's free money. And he up there with his homeboy kicking it at a school that he's been, these abandoned buildings that he claims are schools that he's been sitting on, and not one Black child been educated after 7.5 years. That's crazy. Well, 7 years and 4 months. Okay, thanks, Little Stuck. All right, let's get going with the main video. Usually I says, I think Umar Johnson will need to slang Shango to make one. I said that. Listen, I said that. I actually said that a long time ago. But I didn't say Shango because that's inappropriate. I said we ain't gonna. But it's all inappropriate. But I ain't gonna repeat what I said back in the day. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, let's get going here, everybody. Kadar says he definitely has not spent $3 million on those banners. That's the point too, right? So even if we say that somehow Umar he only raised $2 million, he hasn't spent $2 million on these trap bandos. I have Umar saying again the purchase price is $400,000. Now we're getting down to $1.6 million. And I have Umar saying it's going to cost $1 million to renovate both sides of the street. Okay, well, why hasn't renovations been completed on both sides of the street after 7 years? He hasn't done anything on the other side of the street, and he's still struggling on this side of the street. We got this guy living in. I think the guy living in there because he had someone else living in there before. Hit the one. Y'all know that? Did y'all know that? We sure did. That's what it's turned into. It's the kick it spot. Okay, thanks, Kadar. Yeah, and 3 million ain't been spent on it. 1 million ain't been spent on it. See, purchase price $400,000. Do y'all think $600,000 went into these trap bandos over the last 7? No, not at all. Okay, thanks, Kadar. Okay, let's get going, everybody. Hey, Carolyn Dukes, one of the OGs. Good to see you. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, Carolyn Dukes is one of the OGs too. Yeah, thanks, Francisco. Yeah, if y'all enjoyed the show, go and hit that like button. Our goal is 500 likes for this live stream. Let's get into the main video. And then tomorrow we will be back with Umar's most recent interview. And from what James was telling me, they was talking shit. Okay, but that's fine. Y'all didn't say my name, though. I'll tell you that right now. Okay. And I'm not here to be boastful, but not one of y'all can fuck with me intellectually. I'll tell you that too. Because if you could, you wouldn't have this goofy up on your platform. Real talk. Getting 50 fucking views. Let's move on. All right. So here's the video for today. And what we're going to do is we're going to watch some segments from the, I apologize for getting a little gangster on it, but I can be that way too. You know, most of the time I try to keep, I try to keep it together. You know what I mean? People get me, they get me fucked up a little bit, don't they? But that's fine. That's fine. Y'all believe what you want to believe. Okay. You believe what you want to believe. Don't get it twisted though. Homeboy. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch some of the segments from the Art of Dialogue, okay? And I'll stop and pause to make some commentary, and then we're going to get into the response from one of the comedians that was, I can't remember his name right now, apologize, that was at the roast that Umar specifically talks about. Okay? So here we go. Somebody said, speak your speech. Umar said, well, listen, Laurie, I shouldn't even say that they were, but that's what James said, and I trust James. Okay, so yeah, we'll get to that one tomorrow. It's these people that have Umar on a platform. Okay. And when I went over there, it was like 50 views. There's probably more now, but damn, I was like, yeah, okay. You guys got to look at that. Like, how much money you paying this clown to get up there on your platform versus your views? Okay, you wasted money. But go ahead and do what you're gonna do. All right. Okay, let's get going here. Do you know where Umar got money for his degrees? Listen, Hans, I have Umar stating that he took out loans. So I would propose that if Umar is even paying on those loans, because he doesn't pay basic bills. He almost lost these properties last year because he wasn't paying basic bills going back to 2019. Basic shit. You have your budget, you know where money's going. So you budget this for this bill. He don't do none of that. He just gets the money, he does what he wants. No plan, nothing. So I highly doubt that Umar is paying on student loans. But he spent around 20 years in higher education. And see, if we go back and we go listen to, because it's fascinating when Umar talks, he self-exposes. He projects a lot too, but he self-exposes. In the video where Umar was asking his donors asking his followers to donate $300,000 so that he can go to law school. You guys remember what he said? It just shows you, that's what I mean by it's like deductive reasoning with Umar. Okay, you want me to pull it up? What's up, 78 vet? Y'all want me to pull it up? I can pull it up. So let's go to, I can't remember what year that was. That was 2018. But hold on one second. Let me see, because I think I have it in this folder. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, 2018. April 2nd. Watch this.
For today, I hope this was beneficial. Going over school discipline procedure protocol process for regular ed students and special ed students. Y'all want me to go back to law school? I got accepted to law school about 10 years ago, and I turned it down because I was still working on my doctorate.
See, why would you go back to law school or even thinking about it in 2008? He gets 2 degrees, according to him, in 2008, hit the 1. He gets 2 masters in 2008. So it don't even make sense. Okay, but watch how he tries to finagle this and finesse this. Again, the finesse keyword to try to get money out of black people.
I got accepted to a small law school in Florida, Central Florida, and I turned it down because I was working on my internship for my doctorate in clinical psychology, which I have. If I could do it over, brother and sisters, I would have dropped out of that doctorate program and I should have went to law school. I made a big mistake.
Okay, that didn't even make sense in the timeline.
Internship for my doctorate, and I turned it down because I was working on my internship for my doctorate in clinical psychology. Which
that doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't. Let's keep going on.
If I could do it over, brother and sisters, I would have dropped out of that doctorate program and I should have went to law school. I made a big mistake. If I do go back to law school, y'all gonna pay for it because I'm not taking out no more loans. Y'all hear me?
You catch it? Look. You can see? Who knows how many hundreds of thousands, and it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt that Umar Johnson has on the books. There's no telling. He goes into college in 1992. He gets his PsyD in 2012. Do the math. Picks up, according to him, is 6 degrees. It's actually 5. At most, it's 5, but he says 6. Okay, but let's just say 6 because we're going to go with Umar's fantasy man. He counts his double major as 2 degrees. It's not a double degree. That's not the program he was in. He was in and I have him on record talking about this. He's such a liar. Just like Cheyenne Bryant. Shit, she may not have any degrees. Ain't no telling with that lady. She crazy. She is batshit crazy. Umar crazy too, but she crazy. Umar goes in 1992, and he finally gets his PsyD in 2012. That's 20 years. And if you listen to what he says, I'm not going to take out any more student loans. Play that part one more time.
Back to law school, y'all made a big mistake. I made a big mistake. If I do go back to law school, y'all gonna pay for it because I'm not taking out no more loans. Y'all hear me? If I get accepted to a law school, are y'all willing to raise the money for me to go? Because law school is that's going to be about a $300,000 investment. Would y'all raise the money for me to be educated?
This is in 2018. This goofy had already raised $1 million by the beginning of 2017. And he's asking for $300,000 on April 2nd of 2018. This is 4 years after he started raising money for the St. Paul school scam that a lot of people don't know about. I should play that video. Umar, listen, he's a con man. $300,000, and y'all gonna pay for it. A sense of entitlement. Cheyenne Bryant is the same way. She's the same way.
At law school.
That's that narcissism.
So I can come and fight for your children. Okay? If y'all would raise the money, I would do it, but I'm not paying for it. I've been struggling for our children for 20 years. If y'all going to pay for it so I can help fight for y'all even more, I'll go. But if y'all not going to pay for it, I'm not going.
This goofy talking about he's been fighting for black children for 20 years. We don't cut it out. This is a video from 2018. Anyway, this guy Shine Bright in the same way. I've been doing this for 20 years. No, you haven't. You ain't been doing that at all. She be lying. Boy, she be lying. I said, damn, this lady, boy, she be lying. Anyway, all right, let's get going here. There's a couple more up in here. Shout out to Cuss and Lenon. All right, I let loose every once in a while, but most of the time, I try to dress nice and articulate and keep my glasses on, All right. Thanks, Derek. Shit. When I'm not online, I'll be in a hoodie with a, let me stop. Okay. Enterprise says, all right. I see your point, sir. Get gangster with it. All right. Thank you, Enterprise and TJ. Then we got to go there. He said, F them loans. You ain't lying. Ooh, I was like, F them loans. He won't even pay child support. You think he worried about his student loan debt? That you donors, if he is paying any on it, that you donors are the ones paying for it because he ain't got no job. All right. He gets online and pretends that he's a school psychologist. He's not a school psychologist. You guys will not find him at any school. You will not find any certifications for Umar as a school psychologist, and he's never been licensed either. Okay. I already issued the challenge. Anybody out there, if you find out, I cash up you $150. If you provide me with proof of Umar working as a school psychologist, because he's telling people that in 2026, he hasn't worked as a school psychologist since 2010. And I give him grace to say 2011. Currently holds no certifications, but he tells people that he does. Okay, so the onus is on you, Umar Johnson followers. You guys go into the databases in Pennsylvania and go look up Umar Johnson's name. The only thing that will come back is for someone named Umar Johnson who has a certification as a nurse. That's not Umar. We're looking for as a school psychologist or as a psychologist or even as a therapist because he tells people that he's a therapist. He's never been a therapist. Just like Cheyenne says that she's a therapist. No, she's batshit crazy. That's what she is. Well, Umar's the same way. Okay. Let's get into the main video. I've been saying it for such a long time. Elicitation. Okay. How's it going, Jay Civic? Thank you for tuning on in. Let me give some shout outs too. Thank you for the shooting. Thanks everyone for the super chats too. Okay, I appreciate it. Okay, we got to get going here for sure now. He has never had a license to practice. No, he hasn't. He ain't got no job. What's up, guys? Little Princess. He ain't got no job. He's Umar Shiesty. That's his new name. Okay. All right. Thank you again for the super chat. Let's get going here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's expired. I get that. Okay, but I'm talking about currently he holds no certifications, and last year he held no, but he still tells people that he does. Okay, and I haven't been able to find him with a certification as a school principal that's up to date either. Okay, and he already told people that he gave up his national his certification for as a national school psychologist. He told people he gave that up a long time ago. Right, but he still tells people in 2026 that he's a school psychologist as if he's working. No, he's not working anywhere. Okay, he's like Cheyenne Bryant, just be making up shit. Okay, let's get to the main video. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. I hope you're enjoying this show. Our goal for likes is 500. We're at 358. So we're in good shape to get to that 500. It helps a lot with the algorithms. Umar's not really in the algorithm. Okay, again, the thing went viral, and this happened in January too. But the thing went viral on the Art of Dialogue, but he's not trending right now. So if you hit that like button, that helps to get this out there to more people. Okay, let's get into the video for today. This is some segments from the Art of Dialogue. Salute to Art. Again, I prefer him not have Umar on, but again, I get it. Umar gets a lot of views and he's controversial. That's what he's there for. Umar's basically he's an auntie who gets up on there and he gossips about successful Black people. That's what he's on there for. Nothing more. Okay, let's get going. And you know, I didn't see any mention of FDMG. I don't know if anyone saw the whole thing. Did he even mention FDMG, or was he asked? Did Art ask about FDMG? Okay, here we go.
I see a clip of a white comedian making a joke of George Floyd's death. It wasn't fun. It wasn't comedy. It was racist.
Okay, now I saw that, and my wife was watching it when that came on. And inappropriate, yes. Was it funny? No. Okay. Was it funny to some people? Maybe. Humor is subjective. Comedy is subjective. There's people that are widely successful as comedians, but I don't find them to be particularly funny. There's people who aren't as successful, but they're hilarious. I think for Umar, everything has to be racialized. Is there a racial component to this? Yes, I think so, because I think there's a racial insensitivity that's present when those types of jokes are told. Was I offended by it? No. Okay, was it in poor taste? Yes. But I can choose to be offended by it or choose not to. The thing about comedy is it's not only is it subjective, but it's always been used in society as a means of pushing the envelope for people to talk about things that they normally would not talk about, but then also to kind of push the social envelope of what is considered to be acceptable and to push it a little bit further and a little bit further and a little bit further. Right? People oftentimes, comedians, white comedians, they'll say things about Black people in their comedy skits that they wouldn't say in front of your everyday Black person. There are Black people who say stuff about white people in their comedy skits or their comedy delivery that they wouldn't normally say in front of white people. So it allows the comedian to kind of push the boundaries. And traditionally, that's how comedy has worked. Now, was the joke racial? I think so, because the actual event, I believe, was a racial event. This is to say that if the officer, well, I can't even say that because there's some heinous videos of officers doing some horrible things to Black people too. Now, let me let that go. that actually doesn't work. The point I want to make here is that what Umar's ultimate objective is to take whatever he can and turn it into an extremely racialized type of thing, a dynamic. In some cases, it's not racial, but he will make it. In some cases, it is racial, but then he'll overstate it to make it seem like it's the end of the world. And then to use that as a way of disparaging white people or to make Black people feel as if they're being oppressed, okay, by these so-called white people. And I've seen Umar, like on his Instagram page, he does that quite a bit. Is he doing that here? I think so. I think he is to a degree. However, I didn't find the joke to be tasteful. I think that it shouldn't have been said. But again, comedians, they tend to push the envelope. That's the tense. But I'll give you an excellent example of this. Then we move on. Seinfeld is not funny to me, but most of his comedy is like his stand-up comedy was real vanilla. It wasn't funny though to me. But then there are comedians who they push the envelope more. Like my favorite comedian of all time, just here we go. I always forget his name. I just forgot his name. I do that. I draw blanks. Paul Mooney. he was notorious for really pushing the envelope. And there have been times where I've said, okay, that's too far. Now, was it funny? Yeah, it was funny, but it was too far. Okay, well, he had this one bit where he was talking about the Queen of England. And it really pushes the envelope, and there are people who would be seriously offended by that. Was I offended? No, I wasn't offended. I thought it was funny. Did he do too much? Anyone ever heard that joke hit the one? Did he go too far? Yeah, I think he went too far. But that can be part of the humor too, is that people push the envelope, right? But again, Umar's objective is it's really to turn a racialized situation into an uber racialized situation, or to turn a non-racialized situation into a racialized situation, if that makes sense. And again, like I said, I think that the joke shouldn't have been written. No, it could have been written, but it shouldn't have made it onto the roast, and it shouldn't have been stated. I think that it was inappropriate, and I also think that it was insensitive, racially insensitive. Okay, that's my opinion on it. But again, also recognize that comedy and comedians, that's what they do. They push the envelope, sometimes way too far. And in this case, I think it was too far. All right, let's keep going. Here we go.
But I thought that was the only joke of the Kevin Hart roast that people had a problem with. It starts off with Shane Gillis. He's the host.
Okay, that's the guy's name, Shane Gillis, okay?
I never heard of the devil.
Okay, now again, that terminology is racialized terminology. So I think it's contradictory, whatever you may feel about the guy, to call him a devil. See, now if Shane Gillis got on there and said that Umar was a devil, okay, Black Lives Matters now. Okay, everyone's in outrage. But the rhetoric can be expressed towards white people, and Umar has a long history of that. He calls white women snow bunnies. So why does Umar get a pass? A lot of his commentary about Black people is rooted in racial stereotypes about Black people made by white people. That makes sense. That's what I'm saying. Umar's not the one to talk, and I can pull up examples of that. He tends to have a very negative view about white people that are in line with white supremacists, the ideology. But even calling people calling a white person a devil, okay, that's racialized. Okay, it's also inappropriate. I think it's okay. Now, whatever people may feel about the comedian, that's one thing. Okay, but if you're going to talk about how this white comedian should be talking about this and talking about that, well, then you got to be careful about what you're saying about white people too, including that white comedian. Okay, whatever you may feel about him. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going.
But I know who he is now. He starts out by saying, I want to thank Netflix for choosing me to co-host this celebration of Black excellence. And when I heard that, I said, okay, that's an underhanded jab at Black excellence. He's basically trying to say, ain't nothing excellent about y'all. Y'all just a bunch of dumb niggas.
No, Umar, that's what you're saying. You stupid motherfucker. That's what you're saying. You see how ridiculous this is? See, that's what I mean by you take something that somebody say, and because he's white, you have to flip it and racialize it and make it seem like they're saying something that they're not. Now, if this guy, I just forgot his name again. If he's going to get up on there and say and tell that joke about George Floyd, what would stop him from saying that Black people, that y'all there ain't no excellence amongst you Black people? That's tame compared to that other joke. So why didn't he get up there and just say that shit? See, this is what I mean with Umar. You have to take everything. Got to be 1,000. You got to take something that's one thing. If it's racialized, you got to uber racialize. If it's not racialized, you got to racialize. You're gonna put words in this guy's mouth. Again, the joke about George Floyd and some of the other stuff and it's not just him. There's other comedians that were saying some stuff. Yeah, it's inappropriate. Okay, it's in poor taste. Okay, it's comedy. Okay, some people get offended. Some people don't get offended. Okay, I get it. But you ain't got to twist this shit and make it into something in itself. Let me play that one more time.
And we know who he is now. He starts out by saying, I want to thank Netflix for choosing me to co-host this celebration of Black excellence. And when I heard that, I said, okay, that's an underhanded jab at Black excellence.
How so? How so? Furthermore, Even if he was, Umar, you're the one who's always taking shots at black people. Hit the one. That's why you own the Art of Dialogue, to take shots at Kevin Hart and other black people. Shannon Sharp, you're always talking shit about black people. And where's your black excellence, sir? You deadbeat. Done raised billions of dollars, but you got homeboys living up in there, and you up there kicking it, and not one black child been educated, living in your mama's house, live streaming for your mama closet. Where's your black excellence in the first place? So, listen, I'm not defending the guy that told the joke about George Floyd. Again, like I said, it was inappropriate. But you ain't got to twist things and make it into something that it's not. And that's what Umar, historically speaking, that's what he does. It's ridiculous. It actually takes away from the legitimacy of criticisms that Umar Johnson has in terms of the joke about George Floyd and other jokes that were told. Because you making up shit right here. Just unnecessary. And like I said, if I apologize, Billis, I think his name is. Listen, if the writers are going to write that joke about George Floyd, and it gets into the program, and then the comedian reads it, why wouldn't they just go on and say, listen, there's no such thing as black excellence? That's tame compared to the joke told about George Floyd. So stop making up shit, Umar, and everything got to be over 100.
He's basically trying to say, ain't nothing excellent about y'all. Y'all just a bunch of dumb niggas. That's what he was trying to say.
Yeah, and you're right, Black Wolf. You're right. Okay, and that's a whole separate topic dealing with specifically with Kevin Hart, because that particular joke is written. They could have gone through the process of just editing that out, but they went ahead and did it. Should they have done that? In my opinion, no. But they went ahead and did it. So let me read this. And you're right; it could have been removed. Kevin Hart. Okay. From what I read, that they took jokes out so that could have been removed. Yeah, I'm sure that they did in the editing process. You know, who knows? They could have had 4 hours or 5 hours worth of content, and then they just condensed it down to what they perceive to be the best jokes, and then they give them to particular people to deliver those jokes. Because he had a team of writers, right? So even before they go live, could they have taken that joke out? Absolutely. Okay. Now the critical question, Black Wolf, would be, did Kevin Hart have the authority to have that particular joke taken out? And if he did, I'm sure he did, because it's his roast. Okay, then why didn't he? See? All right. So now that's a legitimate criticism. Okay, and there's plenty of criticism that could be applied to that roast, because there was a lot of stuff that was said in there that was just way over the top. And yeah, it was racialized too. Right. Okay. Yeah, again, do you guys, real quick, do y'all think that, and he had to have had creative control over the jokes that got into the roast. So do y'all think that he did? Yes or no? You can type inside the chat room. Okay, good point, Black Wolf. All right. Real quick, Queendom says, what's up, Lenon, Moz, and Google Chat? Sorry, I'm late. I caught up with 2.0 speed. I recorded the SNL new skit on my iPhone. I can send it to you if you want. No, it's okay. I could find it, but it's just it'll take more time. Then we'll be backtracking. I brought in the SNL skit because it goes to show you, I was talking about it earlier, because it goes to show you that the mainstream, they're starting to look at Umar. And Umar doesn't realize it, but that's getting closer to critical mass. And at a certain point, when it reaches critical mass, that's when the IRS, they're going to be like, okay, well, let's look into him too. It only takes, once it gets to that point, right? But like I was explaining earlier, I don't want to rehash, so I can keep going. But normally what happens is that when it reaches critical mass or close to it, that's when you start to see documentaries being made about these individuals. Okay, I give the example of Nature Boy. Okay, but by that time, Nature Boy had already got hemmed up in the court system. He goes to prison. He's in prison for life. So they do a documentary on him, right? Well, if this ever gets to the point of critical mass with Umar, the same thing will take. I'm working on a documentary too, but I'm just saying, I'm talking about the larger society, Hulu, Netflix, whatever. They'll do a documentary on Umar, but we're not there quite yet. Okay? But what is happening now is more of the larger society. They're starting to look at Umar, in particular, dealing with this school scam, and that's not good for Umar, right? Thanks, Queen. And then Iron Will says, not defending Umar, but Chelsea Handler did say that Shane Gillis and Tony Hitchcliffe, who told the Floyd joke, were racist right-wingers. They may very well be. She was on comedian Dion Cole's podcast. Salute, Lenon. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't know their political leanings. To be honest, I don't think that political leanings matter, because even if it was a left, I'm just saying in this case, if it was a left-leaning person telling the joke, the joke is still inappropriate. Okay, one could argue that because they're right wing and then maybe they're on the extreme, that's what allows them, a certain mentality allows them to tell that joke, right? I think that's a strong, that could be part of it. But what I'm saying is that the joke shouldn't have been, I think the joke was inappropriate. I think it was an extremely poor taste. And if, in fact, I think he did, if Kevin Hart had creative control and could have gotten that edited out of the final script, then he should have done that on GP. You know, because it's the other thing too is you guys listen to it when it's said, it's not as if there's a big buildup to it. It's just something that he says out of the blue, kind of. So if it wasn't told, it wouldn't have made it wouldn't have had a deleterious effect on the quality of the production at all, you know. But they put it in there. Okay, it shouldn't have been in there. Okay, because again, there's things that are, I get it, stretching the envelope, but there are also things where it goes too far, and in this case, they went too far, in my opinion. Okay? Again, some people, and I wasn't offended by it per se, but because I look at it in terms of comedy, but there are plenty of people who were offended by it, and not just black people. Okay? I just don't get offended like that, you know. Today, I pulled into a parking lot and I was getting out of the car, and there was a Tesla that was parked right next to me, And when the guy got out, I was walking into the store and I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he just looks at me. He didn't even say nothing. And there was a part of me that said, "Well, fuck you then." That's what I wanted to say, man. Well, fuck you then. You know. Now, but I could have been offended by that, but I said, different people, because then I thought to myself, there's also other people. And the guy was white too, by the way. There's other people that would be like, "Hey, how you doing?" It could have been a white guy, right? So I'm not easily offended by that. Was it inappropriate? The joke absolutely should have been told. I don't think so. I don't think that. I mean, it's incendiary. That's really what it is. But again, the comics, they do things like that. They do stuff to incite and get people's emotions riled up. In some communities, they tell jokes to make people offended. Okay, I'm just not easily offended by that. I did want to curse that. No, I'm just playing. But that's all I was thinking about. My I should tell, because afterwards I was like, wait a minute. I should have told that guy. Okay, well then fuck you. You don't want to speak? All right. And then I don't want to tell y'all what his license plate said on the back. It was funny though, but I ain't gonna say that because I already said he had status Tesla. Because there are people you do the research, but I ain't gonna do that. Okay. All right. Thanks, Iron Will. And I totally see your point. Okay, I totally see your point. TJ says Kevin Hart is it's a clown. He knew about it and consented. If he did, that's a bad move on his part, most definitely. And I have to say it, I haven't found him to be funny in a very long time. I think he got so big that he got too big. And I don't think he has a connection, to black people like that. I think he's in a whole other world, and sometimes that happens with people. They get big time, they can't relate. They're pushing other people's agenda, or maybe they even start to think a certain way about the same black people that they came up with. Umar's like that, actually. His has a very negative view about black people. But I think for some people, when they get to that level, they think differently. They're not dealing with your everyday black people. So then the jokes that they tell, it's not sensitive to the everyday black people. And then they continue to push the envelope. And it's not, in some cases, it's not just their agenda. It can be other people's agenda. And I have a sense that that's part of what has happened with Kevin Hart. Yeah. All right. Thanks, TJ. Simply Complicated says, not to be off topic, but I think the jokes some white comedians make about black people all have to be about race. It's low-hanging fruit, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sure that there are white comedians that they will go for the low-hanging fruit. Like I was saying this earlier, that there are black comedians who will say things about white people in their jokes, but they won't say that to white people like in the real world every day, because it allows them to push the envelope. Well, there are white comedians that do the same thing. They'll tell jokes about black people, but they're not going to say that shit to a black person's face, right? So yeah, it can be racialized, and I think that in many cases it is racialized, because there's that racial barrier where people feel like they can't say what they would normally want to say to a black person or to a white person for that matter. But again, comedy has been used, I explained this earlier, to kind of push the envelope, and it gives people, comedians, a leeway to kind of go beyond what is socially acceptable on many different levels, right? I know this is going to sound, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but I would prefer for white people to say how they feel about black people in the open. And I would like for black people to be in a position to say what they want to say about white people in the open, and just it all be in the open. and then go from there. That's what I would like. See, some of the jokes in the Netflix special, the roast, I could tell that some of that stuff is like rooted in white people's frustrations or anger or even hatred for black people. Okay, I would much prefer that if people feel that way, just be that way. Okay, same thing with black people. Now, Umar, he's that way anyway. When you talk about when we talk about white people, he's very loose with the tongue. Okay, I would prefer people to show their true colors than to not. But see, we live in a society where this racial construct, which is a fiction, it's a social construct. But this idea of race, it's a fiction. It's not scientific based. It's not based upon genetics, and it's not based upon DNA. It has such a strong hold on people. And you can only say this, and you can only, I don't believe that. People should, I would prefer for people to say how they feel and then deal with the consequences of it. Okay? Anyway, yeah, I see your point, right? I totally see your point. Again, like I said, the joke about George Floyd, not only was it unnecessary, but it was insensitive, and it shouldn't have made the final cut, in my opinion. Okay, thank you for coming. But having said that, I wasn't offended by that. Okay, initially when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, what did he say? Did he say that? And I was like, yeah, that's some bullshit. Okay, but am I going to be like, oh, no, it's okay. Well, it is what it is. All right. I think it's a bit complicated. The other thing too is just to tie back to what I was saying is that someone had to think about that. I'm sure that when they think about that joke, formulate that joke, and it wasn't like a deep joke, meaning that it wasn't like a setup, big time setup or anything like that. It's just something kind of said in passing. Someone had to think about that, and not only that they have to think on that level, but they also have to consider its impact. Okay, well, how would this go off? How would people receive this? And you guys let's be clear. I'm sure that the writers recognized that there was going to be backlash for it. That's why they put the shit in. It's the shock value, and everyone's talking about it. Okay, more people go watch it. Now, would I want to go watch that shit if that joke was? Probably not, but I heard about it. My wife. Now, if my wife wasn't watching it, and I did, would I have watched the roast in the first place? No. But because of all of the people been talking about all these different jokes and stuff, there was one thing that was Umar talks about was the jokes about the one a black comedian, the lady and her husband had unalived himself. Okay, I don't find that when I was watching, I didn't find it to be particularly funny either. Anyway, okay, let's keep going here. Here we go.
Kevin, it must suck being at 5'1", but at least being that short allows them to tell you apart from all the other blacks. In other words, Art, we all look alike.
Wait a minute, what? Let me play that one back. Somebody said, let me get off this chat room. It's not being, for me, it's not. Like because someone said, well, if you said he's on some bullshit, you're offended. No. See, when I'm offended, it's like, the best way I can describe it is I'm hurt by that and I'm angry about it. When I say that's some bullshit, it's not like I feel like deep emotion about it. It's just some bullshit. Now, am I offended by it? I could be, but am I? No. So in this case, clearly, listen, when I heard the joke, there was a part of me that said, wait a minute, did he just say that? That's some bullshit. But then I wasn't like, oh, but this is for this reason and that reason, I'm offended. But no, I didn't have that type of reaction because in my mind, I have a choice to actually be offended. Just like the white guy that didn't speak back to me. I could have been offended and said, man, fuck you then. And he would have probably been shocked, like, oh my God. Right? No, I didn't do that. I just went about my business. It is what it is. This is to say, it takes a lot to get me to that point. It really does. And jokes being told, inappropriate jokes being told, in most cases, it's not going to get me to that point. Okay. But that doesn't mean that other people don't have a right to be offended. I think most people should be, including some white people. Okay. I just chose not to be. Okay. This bullshit. I don't get offended by bullshit. Okay. Here we go.
Trying to say, Kevin, it must suck being at 5'1", but at least being that short allows them to tell you apart from all the other blacks. In other words, Art, we all look alike.
Okay, that's funny. some people, they don't find that to be funny. They're offended by it. Okay, I get it. I'm not offended by that. You know, that's a long-standing joke. And black people all look the same, and we don't. That's why it's funny. Anyway, it was funny to me. All right. Now, if it's not funny to you and you're offended by it, that's fine too. That's the nature of comedy. But that shit was funny. He said, because you short, they can tell. All right. Anyway, Mr. Codberg says, comedy has always been racist. You're right. I mean, pretty much everything in this country, right? But George Jefferson, yeah. Archie Bunker was super racist. Fred Sanford, yeah. The list goes on. Folks are sensitive nowadays. Nobody batted an eye at the joke about the husband. Nope, just Floyd. I don't know. Well, yeah. The only reason why, I mean, listen, Umar talks about the husband unaliving himself, but he racialized it because the husband was married to a black woman. That's why he takes it there. Okay, so he has to racialize it based upon that. It's like Snow Bunny thing. That's his whole big thing. But historically speaking, comedy, it has been racist. There was this one guy, I can't remember his name. He's long passed away. And he used to tell these jokes, and they were so race. I mean, they were all racist. And he would say all kind of crazy. I can't remember the guy's name. I can see him in my. He was shorter. It was a white guy. He was older. He was balding. And he would tell jokes about Jewish people. He would tell jokes about Italians. He would tell jokes about white people. He would tell jokes about black people. And it was, I mean, nowadays he wouldn't be able to get away with it. But back then, you know, real talk, even Richard Pryor, a lot of the stuff that he used to say back in the day, Eddie Murphy back in the day with Raw, there's stuff that he said back then he wouldn't be able to get away with these days. So I do see your point here. I do see your point. But you're right. Yeah, Don Rickles, that's the guy. You guys go watch some of his. He couldn't get away with that these days, and it was funny. I mean, some people would be offended by that. I'm just not. When it comes to comedy, I'm not easily offended because I understand the context of it. Stuff goes too far. Like I said, Paul Mooney, he used to say some of the stuff he would say. I mean, even I was sitting back like, damn, did he just say that? And I would be laughing, but it would be, he would go too far, but that would be funny too, to me. That, you know, but anyway, yeah. Archie Bunker, George Jefferson, Fred Sanford. We can give a lot of other examples. It was a different time, right? A lot of that stuff was in the 60s and 70s. You can't get away with that these days. Okay? You'll get canceled, right? Yeah, I got to give me something to drink. And then you said folks are sensitive nowadays. Yeah, I think that there are people that can be overly sensitive, but I also think that sometimes things go too far, and people should be able to express how they feel about that. I just think Umar, he's using this as an opportunity to paint the narrative, because he always does it. All white people are racist and that black people are perpetual victims. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in that, man. But he will take and use anything. Oh, thanks, Mitch. That's a good point too. Listen, I used to watch George. I used to watch. It wasn't called George Jefferson. It was called. I forgot the name of it. Not Good Times. It was called The Jeffersons. I used to watch that. I used to watch Archie Bunker too, because there was a spinoff from Archie. Wasn't that the spinoff from, or it was another show that was a spinoff from Archie Bunker? I can't remember. It was the maid that was playing in that. Then it was a sister. Then she ended up getting her own show. So I remember something correct. Anyway, and then of course Sanford and Son. I used to love that. That was the show back in the day. Anyway, thanks, Miss Conspiracy. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Then Shane said, they told me to be racist.
You know what's crazy? Umar, he has everything to say. He's a celebrity gossiper. His ass should be up there at these trap battles getting some work done. That's what you need to do, collecting millions of dollars. You up there with the kicker spot. I showed the video earlier with your homeboy. But listen, Umar, he sat down and watched the whole thing and took notes. Okay, he don't type out his notes and shit because he put in a little notepad. And then he comes on the Art of Dialogue to talk about it. Okay, all that time spent for this, Umar, you should have been working on these schools, these trap bandos in Wilmington, Delaware. That's what your ass should have been doing.
He said this. They told me to be racist. He said it on the mic. And listen to this joke from Shane Neanderthal Gillis. He said, Kevin's ancestors came to America on a slave ship in a bottle.
Okay. Is it inappropriate? Yeah. It's funny to me. Because what he's saying is because Kevin Hart is so small that they I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh, but that was funny to me. I'm gonna tell y'all, where I come from, we used to make jokes about stuff that was, and we would go too far. Okay. The difference is it's a white guy that's saying it. That's why Umar, he's offended. Now, real quick, I'm sorry. That's some funny shit. It is. Okay. You ever see a little ship in the bottle? Because I always want to do that. You know how they built the ship in the bottle? I always wanted to. I never got into it, but yeah, we used to snap right back in the day. We called it basing in Southern California, playing the dozens. That's what we did. That's another reason I'm not offended, because a lot of stuff when we were growing up, you have to learn to just deal with it. But that shit right there was funny. Now, could it seem to be offensive to some people? Yeah. Okay. Now I want to go here because I agree with this, TJ. The George Floyd joke was out of pocket. I totally agree. Stop normalizing jokes about someone being murdered and police brutality. I agree with that. I didn't laugh at the joke. I didn't find it to be funny at all. I think that it was inappropriate, and but I chose not to be offended because I understood that this was a roast, and people tend to stretch the envelope. What I would like to have seen is for if they could see, like we were talking about earlier, Kevin Hart has creative control. Why not make an executive decision to not include that joke? Because they had writers for this. He could have done that. See, I think that's even a deeper issue. Okay. Why didn't he just take it out? Because if he took it out, it wouldn't have taken, because the joke wasn't really that big. I know there are people who laugh, but it's not like intrinsic to the roast. Like you take it out, it's not gonna make the roast any less than. Why didn't he do that? I think that's really the deeper question. Okay. And then the question could also be, why would the white writers write that joke in the first place? And then why would the white comedians say that joke? Because they have a right to say, hey, listen, okay, that's too far. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell that joke either. So I think you're right. I think that that there are jokes that are normalized, and perhaps even that joke being told is part of the programming to normalize. I thought about this too. 2 days ago, I thought about this. That part of it is that there is a segment of, and let's be real about it. There's a segment of the population here in the United States of America wherein they don't see the human value in George Floyd, and that's why there are people who saw what took place the way that they saw it. Okay, let's be real. But if they saw human value in him, that they would have seen that situation totally different. Okay. And the way I saw it was, it was very difficult for me to watch and heinous. It's like, for me, the way I looked at it was, it's an example of the depth that humanity has fallen. That's the way I saw that. Okay. But there are other people who saw that and were like, oh, well, he deserved it or this or that. And they make excuses for this. But it's a normalization. But the normalization, it really stems from a lack of humanity in people, and they don't see the human value. They didn't see the human value in George Floyd. You guys understand what I'm saying? So listen, I totally agree. Perhaps the joke was included, and it shouldn't have been. It was included to normalize this, that you can look upon another human being, and because of their race, you can see a situation one way that's not accurate. And the reason why you see it that way is because you don't see that Black person as having intrinsic human value or human worth. Okay, now we really get into the deeper aspects of racism, and even the concept of race. Race in and of itself, as a social construct, is designed to set up this hierarchy in the first place. And the people who are on the upper end, that their human value is worth more than the ones that are on the lower end. And traditionally, Black people are on the bottom. Okay, so yeah, good point. Okay, I want to acknowledge that. All right, and then Black Wolf says, I'm lost. So now it's a problem with caring about our dead being mocked. We all see the world we in. If we didn't stand and say shit, then it will continue. Yeah. I don't think that it's a problem to care. I think that people should care. That's what I was explaining just a moment ago. But because the George Floyd incident, what took place there, there were people who did not see his human value. And because they didn't see his human value, they looked at it a particular way. See, it could, like I was saying, it could be possible that the reason why this joke was included was so that people could normalize this sense that it's okay to tell these types of jokes, and in particular about people who have been alive, and not just unalive, but unalive in a horrific fashion. That's what I think. Okay. And then you said we all see the world we live in. If we didn't stand and say shit, then it will continue. No, I totally agree. Things should be said about this, these types of things. Just like with what happened in the aftermath of George Floyd. There's people who were marching and all this kind of stuff. I think that was important. In the context of this roast, it went way too far. And throughout the process, yeah, it could have been stopped. It could have been stopped in the writing process. The real critical question, I think, is why was it included in the first place? Why did the comedian go through with it after it was clear? Another deeper question is, why didn't Kevin Hart speak out about it in the moment? And then he goes on the Breakfast Club and he goes through this process of trying to explain why it was included. I think he fumbled that ball too. But I also think he's just in a different world, the world that he lives in, and the world that he's been a part of. You know, it's not about seeing human value or human worth and people who have been horrifically murdered. Real talk, that's what it was. That's what it came down to. I think he lives in a different world, and so he doesn't see Black people in that humanized way. Okay? Anyway, thanks, Black Wolf, for the super chat. Okay, let's keep going. Here we go.
Kevin's ancestors came to America in a slave ship and a bottle ark.
Okay. Anyway, that's true too. I thought about this too. Maybe he can't say anything. Okay. Now I'm going to put on my conspiracy theory hat here too. I'm not giving a justification for him not stopping that, but it could be possible that Kevin Hart is in a position where he has to go along with the program. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, what tends to happen with people who reach that level of stardom and reach that level of success is that they're interacting with people who have a lot of power and control. And it's not a direct power to when they can tell someone that they have to do this, they have to do that. What I'm getting at is that Kevin Hart has been in that industry for such a long time. And there's been stuff that has come out about Kevin Hart that, you know, people were like, okay, this is huge. And then it kind of gets swept under the rug. What I thought about was, is it possible that they have stuff on Kevin Hart? I'm talking about people who have power. They have stuff on Kevin Hart that if he steps on the line, they can say, okay, we're going to release this. That's what I thought about. Now, this is more of a conspiratorial standpoint. That's what I thought about, because I was trying to figure out why didn't he stop this in the first place? Because he could have. Even before they went live, he could have stopped it. And then even still, if the joke is told, in particular one about George Floyd, if it's told in that moment, he could have stood up, and because it reminded me of there was another one when they were roasting Tom Brady, and then there was a guy telling jokes about Tom Brady's the owner of the Patriots. And Tom Brady, in the clip, at least that's what it appeared to be, Tom Brady went up to the guy, told him not to tell jokes about it, and the guy stopped. Did you guys anyone see that? So why didn't Kevin Hart do that? Well, the only thing I can think of, and I'm not trying to justify it, is that perhaps he has to go along with it, because if he doesn't, then they can just pull some receipts and release it, and then his career is over with, and who knows what else happened to the guy. Okay? Anyway, and again, that's me conspiracy theory. That's something that I thought, because in my mind I was trying to figure out, okay, why would Kevin Hart go? And then not only that, when he goes on the Breakfast Club and he's trying to justify this. Yeah. And again, I understand how comedy works in the context of comedy. That, in my opinion, that joke shouldn't have been told. I think it goes too far. It goes even beyond stretching the envelope. And at some point down the line, whether it's the writers or it's the comedian that tells the joke or Kevin Hart, that should have been excluded. But then even still, if it gets into it, when it happens, Kevin Hart should have stood up and said something about it. Or if anything, when he goes on the Breakfast Club, it's a bigger platform, he should get up in there and explain why the joke shouldn't have been told, so forth and so on. What he was saying was, I didn't tell the joke. Okay, but you hired the writers. You have creative control. Even before they go live, you're looking at the script. Anyway, let's keep going. Look at everybody. Devil's advocate. Some black folks that want their dead to be respected are also the ones who mocked and joked about Charlie Kirk. I see your point. I see your point. Well, I mean, it's something to think about. I mean, and that's the big problem with this racial construct. That's the big problem, because people will see things one way based upon their race as opposed to seeing it based upon their humanity. It's two separate things. See, if I was a comedian or if I was a writer, I wouldn't write a joke about what happened to George Floyd, and I wouldn't write a joke about what happened to Charlie Kirk either. But that's just me. One could argue, and again, I'm just going along with this, Mr. Congressman, one could argue, yeah, but the difference is that in one scenario, it's a racial component to it. In the other scenario, it's not race. What took place wasn't based upon race. Okay. But even still, we will be operating from the vantage point of the racial construct, or race, which is a social construct, as opposed to humanity, which is hopefully where we would get to as a species at some point in the distant future, Star Trek sci-fi. Yeah, I see your point. I don't really have I can't argue one way for this or against this, but you're making a point that I think people need to think about. You know, again, if Umar calls white women snow bunnies, or Latinas salsa bunnies, or women from the Middle East sand bunnies, or what other shit he be saying, and black people don't find that to be offensive, but then when a white person tells a joke, or they can say the same joke, they say a watermelon bunny, okay, now we got a problem. Okay, again, something to think about. Yeah. All right. Pete made a joke about Charlie Kirk. I don't know. I have no idea. Did he? I have no idea. I mean, I wouldn't joke about that. I wouldn't joke about that. I wouldn't joke about George Floyd either. But again, anyway. Yeah, Pete Davidson made a joke about Charlie Kirk's. Yeah. Oh, he did it in the roast. I don't remember seeing that part. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Leopold 3024. Anyone see that? I don't remember seeing that part in the roast. Yeah. I mean, that's just too far for me. I wouldn't do that. Anyway, let me get to the chat room. It's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. It really is. Right? Okay, let's get going.
Actually talking about him being small, but you making fun of our enslavement?
Why you gotta? It's a joke. It's not that serious. It's really not. Okay. Anyway, I've told jokes about slavery. Okay, is it inappropriate? Yeah, but it's not to offend people. It's just, okay. Anyway.
The greatest crime in human history, even validated as such by the United Nations last month. Are you kidding? You're going to make fun about the enslavement of my ancestors, and you're going to pass it off as comedy. Art, this was not comedy.
Yeah, I don't look at it that way. I don't look at it as they were making fun of slavery. They're making fun of Kevin Hart, but using slavery as a way of making fun about. And it wasn't even about slavery. It's really what it is Kevin Hart. They're making a joke about his height.
This was a public execution of the honor, self-respect, and integrity of Black America.
Okay, that's what I mean. It's just too far. Umar, you're doing too much.
And we not going for it. Let me continue. Listen to this one, Art. Kevin's father was a California raisin, but he wasn't raising anybody.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember hearing that, but I didn't catch the part where they called him a California raisin. That's inappropriate. But he wasn't raising anybody, just like Umar. Okay, if that's the case, Umar, you a California raisin too. You don't raise your kids. Anyway, it's ridiculous.
His dad was addicted to crack, and he abandoned him. But I guess that's better than being there for the filming of Jumanji 3.
Is there a Jumanji 3? I hadn't even seen that. What? All right. Anyway, let's keep
now
going.
Shane Gillis didn't say all these jokes, Art. Some of the other
Some of it is funny because it's stupid more than anything else. All right. Anyway.
white comedians said them too when they got up to the podium, but most of them came from Shane's Neanderthal Gillis. Listen to this one.
Okay, even calling him a Neanderthal. That's what Shane Gillis was talking about. We'll watch that video next. All right. Umar called him a Neanderthal.
Kevin did well in Saudi Arabia because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin.
That's not funny. It's not funny. The reason why I'm laughing is because Umar, he's so sassy with it. Umar, relax, bro. It's not funny. Is it inappropriate? Yeah, because you shouldn't be calling Black people monkey. And Umar, you shouldn't talk because you call yourself King Kong. You the biggest monkey ever. What you talking about? You call yourself that. King Kong ain't nothing but a big monkey. But you call and see, you always talking snow bunny this, snow bunny that, and Black men shouldn't date outside the race, and the snow bunny crisis, and yet, listen, how did King Kong get hemmed up in the first place? He was dealing with that white woman. That's what the symbology was. He was dealing with that white woman. He stole that white woman. He started climbing up the Empire State Building. Y'all remember that? He's a big monkey. And yet, Umar, you call yourself King Kong consciousness. So make it make sense, sir. Now, I know people argue, well, gorilla is not the same as a monkey. No, it's a monkey. It's a big-ass monkey. It's the biggest monkey you can be is a gorilla. And that's what Umar calls himself. See, Umar, he's a trip because King Kong was a bunny hopper. Frederick Douglass was a bunny hopper. Umar calls himself King Kong, and he calls his fake funky school the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Pan Africanism for Black boys. Make that make sense. Anyway, I forgot what the joke was. Let's go back.
To the podium, but most of them came from Shane's Neanderthal Gillis. Listen to this one. Kevin did well in Saudi Arabia because they thought he was the monkey from Aladdin.
That's
How is that funny?
Okay, that's not funny. It's not. That's not. I'm just laughing because Umar. Umar, he's so dramatic with the shit, ain't he? Look at him. You ain't seen Umar look this serious in a month. Okay, is that funny? No, that's not funny. That's too far. It's racialized too. Okay, it's just Umar took notes on this shit. All right, let's keep going. And it's true. Like even, for instance, if you guys don't know this, white people, you can't call Black people monkeys. You just can't. It's not right. Don't call no Black people monkeys. Not even affectionately. Okay? In fact, Black people, we can't even call our kids monkeys. I call my dog a monkey. He's a monkey ass. But we can't even call our kids monkeys. And the reason I bring it up is because I have friends who are from India. And there's monkeys. There's a gang of monkeys in India. You know, you see these videos, they be messing with people, and sometimes the people be feeding them and stuff. There's a gang of monkeys in India. And so I have friends who are Indian, from India, and their parents would call, you know, when they would be talking about kids or whatever, oh, that little monkey. Oh, the little monkey, you're such a cute little monkey. I remember I first heard that shit, I was offended. Now I was offended. I know I said I wasn't offended earlier, but that was when I was younger. I was offended by that shit. I said, how? And I didn't say no. I said, how can they call these kids monkeys? But that goes to show you it's a cultural dynamic that is different. They don't see that as being offensive to anybody. This is a term of endearment. It's affection. But for Black people, we can't call our kids monkeys because of the racial component here in the United States of America. And other people shouldn't do it either. That's why that joke is inappropriate. Okay. No, I'm serious, Brandon. Has anyone ever been around people from India and they will, hey, the little monkey, you so such a cute little monkey. I said, what the? So what did you? What? I said, no, and none of the Indian people were reacting to it. You know, I was like, what is going on here? Yeah, but we can't do that. Yeah, Crystal, we can't do that, and other people shouldn't do that either. Don't do that. But Umar calls himself King Kong, which is the biggest monkey ever. All right. Look at the chat room. It's true. Is there anybody here who has friends who are India, meaning they're from India? And they their friends' parents, that's what they call it. They call the kids monkeys. Okay. You're so cute, little bubbles. Bring me the naan. Bring me the naan. Let me stop. Everybody said no. I don't know. Well, maybe my friends' parents, maybe they were just racist against their own kids. I don't know. You ain't never heard it? Okay, I don't know. Maybe they were racist. I don't know. I'm the only one that ever heard some Indian people call their kids monkeys. All right. I'm sorry. I love naan. I do. Indian food is my favorite food. It is. That's my favorite food, Indian food. Yeah. I named one of my sons after my Indian friend. That's how I get down. And the Indian women fine too. Or all right, anyway. I got a little blowed off there. Okay, let's keep going. Look at Umar. That's why I was laughing. Look at Umar. He's so offended. Yeah, garlic lime is so good. I mean, and samosas, yeah. But that garlic lime, something about it. I heard white people call their kids. No, you didn't. Stop. 78 Best says she heard white people call their kids nappy-headed. Don't do that. You trip. You know what? Umar calls Black people nappy-headed. That's racist. Hit the one. Anyway. Somebody said, I don't want none. I don't want none. All right. Let's get back to it. Yeah, Indian food is great. It is. I can stuff and gorge myself on Indian food. It's the best. One time, my friend, we went and his mama made a whole thing for us. Then I had a friend from Eritrea. I remember I had brought him. We went to the same college when I was 17, 18, 19. And one time and he was from San Diego. He used to date my sister too. He apologized for that one time. He said, I just want to apologize. Because he was a real honorable dude, you know, but he's from Eritrea. Want to apologize, you know, dated your sister, didn't work out, or blah. So I don't worry about it. Ain't no big deal. Anyway, I drove him back down to San Diego, and on the way when I dropped him off at his mama's house, and his dad, his mom and dad's house. No, his dad was over in Eritrea. Yeah, because he was now. His dad was in Eritrea at that time. But we drove down, and his mom made a big old plate of like Eritrea. It's like Ethiopian food, similar. Right? And boy, that was good. My wife's favorite food is Ethiopian food. My favorite food is Indian food. Okay, let's get back to it, everybody. Yeah. A lot of them women up from over there, they fine too. The Ethiopian, Eritrea women are fine though. Anyway, they're just cute. And I'm going to T. Jones. Thank you so much for tuning on in. I appreciate it. Yeah, especially the ones that call Black. Stop. The finest ones are the ones that call Black people monkey. Let me stop. That's what I said. I'll make a love to my wife. She said, "What you want me to say? What you want me to say? Call me a monkey. Call me a monkey, baby." I'm sorry. That's not funny. That's not funny. All right, let's get back to it. You know, different people into different things. You know. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go. By the way, my wife, she wouldn't do it. Okay, some things is just too far. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
It ain't funny, Art. It ain't funny. This was not comedy, bro. This was a get back for Drewski portraying Erica Kirk. But
okay, again, this is Umar going too far. This is Umar going too far. I know I shouldn't have said that. I apologize. Baby, I'm trying to tell y'all, women, if your man, if you really want to get it in, call your man a monkey. You ever seen a monkey making love? Them monkeys, they get it in. They be getting it in real quick. He said he wants some of that. Tell him you want some of that monkey loving. Some of you women don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. All right, let me get myself to get together. Get myself together. Being honest, some groups do fit. Okay, some groups do fit the stereotypes. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Controversy. Blackwood says my favorite food is. Okay. All right. Let's get back on track here. He going bananas right now. Did you see that? Did you see that little on the live stream last night? He was going bananas. Okay. Okay. Oh man, it's time the King Crest that's undefeated. All right, I'm trying to infuse humor because this is a sensitive topic. All right, let's get back to it. Here we go.
I don't have a problem with what Drewski did, Art, because he wasn't vulgar. He didn't call that woman a bitch.
Okay.
He didn't mention Charlie Kirk's name. Okay. All he did was imitate her behaviors, Art, for 3 minutes. That's all Drewski did. But white people are so narcissistic.
Okay, now Umar's talking about himself. This is what you call projecting. Okay. Yeah, Sandy, man, it's y'all's fault. I'm blaming on y'all. No, don't so power. Don't blame it on me. That's y'all's fault. Blackwood's fault. Cool, Renea, Cool, 22. All right.
So paranoid.
Okay, again, hit the one. This is Umar. He's talking about himself. He has narcissistic personality disorder. Okay, we've talked about that extensively. I've given plenty of examples of it. But also, I've talked about how Umar is. All right. How Umar, he's paranoid. Okay, so this is Umar projecting, right? But now he's projecting onto white people.
So psychologically entitled.
Okay, again, Umar, I was talking about this earlier. The sense of entitlement. Shine Bryant's the same way too, but Umar's sense of entitlement is crazy. So that's him talking about himself. See, it's fascinating how he does this. You know, this he does. He projects a lot. I was talking about this earlier. Okay, monkey love is over the top. You know, I'm gonna have to write a song called. Let me stop. They're going too far. All right, thank you, Derek. What's up, Ad Davis? Says Umar doesn't care. He's just working the algorithm up there, stealing all those black folks' money, trying to act, indignant. Absolutely. Right. Drewski, man, yeah, he does. He makes fun of everybody. And that skit he did, I laughed at that skit. It was funny to me. I didn't even understand. I didn't know nothing about it being a part of Charlie Kirk's wife. I didn't know nothing about that when I saw the skit. It was funny to me. Okay. Let's keep going here. We got to make some progress, boy. This live stream been wild. Shade wanted to cook Chris said, thank you guys so much. Let me go ahead and check out this poll question right quick. I showed the video. It was hot off of the press. Umar up at these trap bandos, and someone opens the door for him. Here's the video right quick. This is from not too long ago. See this? So the poll question is, who was the guy that opened the door at the bandos? 17% said Umar's fiend friend. 17%, said the plug. And 11% said a tenant that lives there. And then 55% said all of the above. Okay. Okay, make sure you get your vote in during this live stream. Our goal for likes too, by the way, is 500. We are now at 453. So we're looking really good to get that. All right. Okay. Let's get back to it. Here we go.
They don't even think a black comedian has a right to do a skit of a black woman, of a white woman in whiteface when this white woman clearly supports the anti-black agenda of this government.
I'm trying to follow Umar on this. Why would he think that black people couldn't do that? Or that white people think that black men can't do that? Has there ever been any black men who have dressed up as a white woman? I'll wait. Let me go get me something to drink in the chat room. Let me play that again, because that's what I mean by Umar. He takes things too far, and it's part of the conspiracy mentality. I used to have that too, big time, where you're making connections where they don't exist. Yeah, Sean and Marlon Wayans. Yeah, there's plenty. So what is Umar talking about? Yeah, the Wayans brothers. They did White Chicks was what it was called. Yeah, it was called White Chicks. Yeah, well, it was called. I think it was called White Chicks. Yeah, I never watched those. I never did. That's just not my thing. Yeah, but they did it. So what is Umar talking about? Terry Crews. He sure did. Terry Crews. Yep. Yeah, and I think they're working on the next movie. So what is Umar talking about? Yeah, he is. He just running his mouth. Yeah, it's called White Chicks, but there may be others too. Let's see. Are there any movies where black actors dress up as white women? Yeah, White Chicks is the one that comes up. There's probably more. I would think that there are more. Maybe there's not. But that's the one that comes up. Actor Kenan Thompson dressed up as a white woman on SNL. Yeah. So that's another one. And there's black men who dressed up as black women. That's happened a lot, because I'm looking right here. Tyler Perry, obviously. I've never watched any of his movies. My mama, she'd be watching those. I haven't watched any of that. Martin Lawrence did Big Mama's House. What's her name was in that? Nia Long. Eddie Murphy did in Norbit. Jamie Foxx did too in Living Color. Yeah, because he played that one. Yeah, I remember that. Wesley Snipes did as well in Tu Wong Fu. I've never seen that one. Ving Rhames did too. It was in Holiday Heart. I haven't seen that one. Chris Tucker did. Chris Tucker did in The Fifth Element. Well, he dressed up as a woman, but I don't think he was. I think he was like flamboyant more than anything else. But yeah, I remember that. That's a sci-fi movie. Arsenio Hall did in Coming to America. He sure did. He did in Coming to America. But he wasn't a white woman. Miguel Nunez did in Joanna Man. Kenan Thompson did in an SNL skit. Tracy Morgan did in an SNL skit. Of course, Sean and Marlon Wayans from White Chicks. That's probably the main one. Young Jock. I don't even know who that is. I don't know what in the world. Anyway, it doesn't say specifically as a white woman outside the white chick. So, I don't know what are you talking about. Yeah, let me play that again. Kevin Hart did too. Yeah, he did, but I don't know. Did he dress up as a white woman though? Let me see. There was from a long time ago, brother had a show. He dressed up as a woman too. I can't remember his name right now. Oh yeah, he did. He dressed up. It's saying that he dressed up as a white woman. Kevin Hart did. That's what it's saying right here. Okay, so let's go back and listen to what Umar says here again.
People are so narcissistic.
Yeah, Crystal, that's it. Flip Wilson. Yeah, Flip Wilson. That's old school. Jamie Foxx, yeah, he sure did. Also, Martin Lawrence, he did in the show Martin.
So paranoid, so psychologically entitled that they don't even think
all right, Baba
a black
Diddy.
comedian has a right to do a skit of a black woman, of a white woman in whiteface when this white woman clearly supports.
What are you talking about, Umar? There's a whole movie, and they're about to do a second one with the Wayans brothers. Shout out to the Wayans family too. They had a big impact. Anyway, Umar, you don't know what you're talking about.
The anti-black agenda of
this. Didn't he? I thought he did. Yeah, I think I remember that. Let me see. Yeah, his alter ego, Miss Stephen Urkel. I forgot about. Oh man, yeah, you're right about that. Damn. Urkel too. Yep.
Government. You damn right Drewski had a right to do what he did. I'm glad Drewski did what he did. But guess what, Art? These jokes that they did at this Kevin Hart roast, it makes Drewski's Erica Kurt skit look like a picnic, Art. You can.
Yeah, I agree with Umar on that. It's not comparable because of the heinous unaliving situation. So I agree with what Umar's saying here. That they're not comparable.
Not compare that Drewski skit of Erica Kurt.
But again, he's still reaching to connect these two different the skit, trying to connect the Drewski skit of Erica Kirk to what happened to George Floyd, and then the joke that was told. I mean, he's reaching right there.
To what they did to Cheryl Underwood. In fact, Art, this should not have been called a roast of Kevin Hart. You know what they should have called it? The roast of Cheryl Underwood.
Yeah, they went too far with that stuff with her too. I agree with him on that.
This was the roast of Cheryl Underwood. They
shut your ass up. This controversy, if you don't stop, you play too. You be playing too much. I'm offended now. Listen, I'm offended. Seriously, I'm offended by that shit. You see how I am? No, like I could get offended by it, but I just don't get offended easy like that. you tripping. Bro gonna be quick to claim the big banana theory. The big banana theory. Okay, all right. Thanks, cousin. Miranda says, Lenon, you're so funny with bubbles. Someone else said bubbles. I can't take credit for that. My friend is from Los Angeles, and he loves calling any and everyone that when he gets mad. Why? Why? He goes, you pissing me off, Bubbles. That's crazy. Why do they call them Bubbles? Are you talking about when you call it a monkey ass? Maybe that's what you mean. I ain't gonna lie. I'll call some black people monkey ass a couple of times. I ain't gonna lie about it. Okay. I ain't calling nothing monkey though, but I call him monkey or monkey ass. Is there anyone else here? Have you ever called? Okay, if you ever called a black person a monkey, hit the one. Okay, and we're delineating. We're separating that from monkey. If you call it monkey ass, that's a 2. Okay, I've never called a black person straight out you monkey. No, I wouldn't do that. Monkey ass, yeah, many times in my youth. Oh my God. So Patriot, come on. I'm offended, Patriot. I'm offended that Patriot doesn't call black people monkey. Listen, Miranda, you see what you done started? Okay. Queen, oh my goodness. Okay, let me get out of the chat room. Listen, Black Mario on it. He said, I did L1 and 2. All right. Well, the quick course chat is crazy. It's the best, though. Y'all the best. All right, let me get out this chat room. All right. Yeah. Scooby-Doo. I brought this up earlier because I was bringing up different comedians who really went too far. Back then, they couldn't get away with it today. And I couldn't remember his name, but that's who I brought up. His name was Don Rickles, and someone said, yeah, Don Rickles. Yeah, that's what, because I couldn't remember his name at first. The jokes that he would tell were so racialized, and a lot of it is based upon racial stereotypes. One of the reasons why people find that racial stereotypes to be funny, the jokes that are told about that, is because we know intrinsically that it's a bunch of foolishness in the first place. Okay, that these racial-based stereotypes, it's a bunch of bullshit. Okay, so when people talk about them, that gives us an opportunity to kind of laugh at the foolishness, right? So, but Don Rickles, he used to go to the extreme with the stuff, and he would talk about everybody. Okay, he would talk about black people, talk about Mexican people, or Latinos. He would talk about white people, talk about Jewish people. He would talk about everybody. Italians. He had some his Italian jokes were way over the top. Okay, Richard Pryor too. He used to tell jokes that were based upon stereotypes about Italians. One of the funniest bits that he had was about how he used to work at a club, and there was an Italians, like the mob owned it, and how they wasn't paying people. And he went into the office like, "You gonna pay me?" And then how they kind of embraced. I mean, that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Okay, Richard Pryor is master, an absolute master. Anyway, Don Rickles, he was way over the top. Way over the top. Okay, yeah. Another one was Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah, he used to he was push the envelope a lot too. Yeah, roasts are over the top in general. They did a roast on the Richard Pryor roast? Yeah, I think it was a Richard Pryor roast. Yeah, they were saying too much in that one. They sure was. That was way over the top. Yeah, Joan Rivers, she was. Yeah, she was. She was ruthless with it. I never found her to be funny though. Anyway. Let's keep going.
Lured our sister there. They sat her up front, Art. They racially targeted her, and they unloaded on that beautiful dark-skinned black woman all night long.
Yeah, they did, and it was. I felt like that was wrong for them to do her like that. But the thing is, notice how Umar has to say that beautiful black, okay? Because again, Umar's a colorist.
Woman, all front, Art. They racially targeted her, and they unloaded on that beautiful dark-skinned black woman.
So he says dark skin. He makes a point to bring up the dark skin because he's a colorist. Yeah, it's a comedian. It's a lady that was on there, and they were talking. They were going in on her hard, but they were going in on other people too. In particular, that one lady, the white lady. I can't remember her name right now, but she's a comedian. She has something on Netflix too that I saw pop up. But they were going in on her too.
All night long. This was a get back for
Oh, she was funny to you? Yeah, she wasn't funny to me. Again, like I was saying in the beginning, comedy, it's really subjective. Like, there are people who don't find, I don't see how you can't find Rich Pryor funny, because he's hilarious. But there are people who won't find him to be funny, or Paul Mooney, who's my favorite. They won't find, because Paul Mooney, he would go over the top. You know, he'd be talking bad about everybody, but white people, he'd go in on white people. And a lot of people, they can't handle it. It was funny to me, though. At least most of it. He go too far. Was that her name? Chelsea Handler. Yeah, they went in on her. They sure did. Yeah. Yeah, her name is Cheryl Underwood was assistant in Chelsea Handler. They was going in on her, too. I felt bad for both of them. Yeah, Paul Mooney, rest in peace. That dude, that's my favorite. He's hilarious. Black Amaro says, can we get a Umar? Basically, we do that all month. Thanks, Black Mario. Somebody asked, they said, I'm new here. Why does Leonard pronounce month? Okay, well, that's how Umar pronounces it. That's why I say it that way. Okay. And then Black one said, Kevin Hart ain't funny to me with this high-pitched voice he does. Yeah, he's not funny to me either. He's not. Yeah. Anyway, some people find him to be extremely funny, you know. Some people, I think Cat Williams hilarious a lot. There's people that don't think Cat Williams is funny. He's funny to me. All right. Lenon would be a great casting. It's such a mess. Lenon would be a great casting as an Asian woman. Man, if you don't stop, y'all play too much. Let's move on. Thanks, user 25. Thanks, Mr. Controversy 2 for kinda. Okay. This conversation says, fool, we go back over 10 years. I know. I'm not tripping. It's all good. I go along with it. Again, that's how we were raised. We used to base on each other. And I used to make people cry. I was real good at it. Some of y'all could probably tell. I was real good at it when I was a kid. I didn't tolerate it in my household though, because there were times my kids, they were trying. I said, no, no, we're not doing that up in here. But I can take. We have a good time. That's what makes the show go. So thank you so much, Ms. Conference. But that tip to grift shit, that's too far. Okay. Anyway, all right, thank you. Derek says, Lenon, it's monkey. Thanks, Derek. I say monkey. It's a monkey. All right. Derek says, Umar charged $10,000 a podcast. I think he doesn't do that for all the podcasts, but if he'll whatever he can get. Again, the school scam, he doesn't get the type of money that he used to get. So over the last, I don't know how long it's been. I would probably say over the last 2.5, maybe 3 years, he's made an assertive effort to try to get onto podcasts and have them pay him. In some cases, it could be, 10,000. Yeah, but there are also times I'm sure that he does a podcast where they may give him $500. He'll take whatever he can. He don't got a job, and then he gets on and runs his mouth. Hey, that's what he do. I don't know how much. I don't know how much Art of Dialogue pays him, but I would think it's got to be around 10 grand because if you get 1 million views, it'll be worth it. Some of these podcasters, like the one that had him on today, when I looked on it, only had 50 views on there. We're gonna get into that video tomorrow because James said that they were talking about me, but they wouldn't say my name. Okay, we get into that one tomorrow. Anyway, thank you, Darius. I don't think he gets 10,000 for all of them. He'll get 10,000 from the big ones or somewhere around there, 12,000. Who knows? But the smaller ones, they give Umar. He'll take $500. I'm sure. Okay? He'll take whatever he can. Then he go back up to these trap bandos and go kick it with his homeboys. Look. It's a damn shame. We ain't opening up no school. It's not happening. And if you think about it, with real quick, Darius, if we all think about this, however much money Umar has received over the last 3 years doing podcasts, how much of that is going towards renovation at these trap bandos? See, that's a real critical question, but we tend not to ask how much money. Does Umar have skin in the game? How much money has he contributed to this school scam? See? But he get that money and he go back up there and he blaze up with the homies in the trap bando. That's what he do. Not one black child being educated. Thanks, Darius. Okay, let's get back to it. How we doing on time? Are we doing good? Here we go.
Concur. Let me continue, Art. Kevin is so short, they will have to lynch him from a bonsai tree.
Yeah, that's not funny at all. Okay, that's not funny. So again, that's insensitive. That's a joke that shouldn't have made it. But again, the other joke, there's quite a few jokes that shouldn't have been in it. That's just too far. It's not funny at all.
Don't you know Shane Gillis called Lizzo a fat black bitch Art on the mic?
Okay. There's plenty of black men that call black women that all the time. So what's your big, and you be going off on black women too when they expose your big ass. What you talking about? There's black comedians that call black women bitches all the time. What you talking about? But because it's a white dude, now he got a problem with it. Umar, you be running your mouth talking reckless about black. Don't make me pull up the receipts. We got Zora. We got the fish tank rant. We got the super soaker. Which one y'all want? There's other ones too. Which one y'all want? Yeah, you're right, Domo. He said the same thing about about Zora, his own daughter. What about that one, Umar? See, that's what I'm saying. Umar, it's like a double standard. Umar can go in on black women, but if a white person does, he got a problem with it. The truth is that no one should be doing it. What about his rant? What about the rant against Kim Ringo? He calls her a COINTELHO and a maggot. What about when he went in on his baby mamas last year? Now, again, should they be calling any woman, whether it's a black woman or not, should they be calling any woman a bitch? No, they shouldn't do that. But Umar, you're not the one to talk with all of the evidence that I have of you disparaging black women. Y'all want me to pull up some examples? I could do it. Let's do Pajama Mama. Let's see him talking about black women. It's goofy.
Peace and Pan Africanism, peace and Pan.
He was high as a kite in this one.
African, as soon as cards you have in your hand, stop having them. Friends with another child's parent. Protect information, child, and not put it on the record. Shout out to all my Maryland Africans last night. It wasn't me. Fraternities and so.
I'm sorry, we gotta watch this McDonald part. He's Umar's hilarious. Watch this.
Get your live alkaline water, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I gotta get me some smoothie. I'll be right back.
Get your live alkaline water. Get your live alkaline water, King Kong.
See, that's Umar with the when he gets the substance abuse, when he gets into that, that's when he starts sniffing. It's called postnasal drip.
I pulled up at about 11:30 last night. I don't know how this got in my hotel room. I don't know how this got in my hotel room because I know I didn't stop at McDonald's. I don't know how this got in my hotel room because I know I didn't stop at McDonald's, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, I have no recollection of stopping at McDonald's. I don't know how this got in my room. Somebody put this in my room last night. It wasn't me. Somebody put this, my vegetarian Africans, my vegetarian Africans. I did not stop at the McDonald's last night. I didn't. I don't know how this got in my room. Somebody trying to set me up. I did not stop at McDonald's. They trying to set me up. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand me. I need you to understand, overstand, and understand me. I did not stop at McDonald's. I didn't. I did not do that. I'm working on my diet. Maybe I was sleepwalking last night. I might have was sleepwalking last night. I might have sleptwalked last night. And I might, in my sleepwalking, I might have went through the drive-thru without being conscious. I might have went through the drive-thru while I was sleepwalking, and I might have got me a fish fillet. I might have got me a fish fillet meal. I can't remember. I can't remember. Don't charge it to my head. My heart charge it to my head. Sometimes I'll be sleepwalking through the hood. If you ever catch King Kong sleepwalking through the hood, I need you to just wake me up a little bit, shake me up. Dr. Umar, you sleepwalking. You sleepwalking right now. I think I might have accidentally was sleepwalking and I walked through the McDonald's drive-thru and got a fish fillet meal because it was 11:30 at night. I was kind of hungry.
If you sleepwalking, how you know what time it was?
I was tired and I might have accidentally had a REM sleep, a deep REM sleepwalk, and I might have accidentally picked up a fish fillet. Charge it to my head, not my heart, vegetarians. Charge it to my head, not my heart, vegetarians. Charge it to my head, not my heart, my vegan Africans. Okay? I thought I was dreaming, but I might have been sleepwalking.
Okay, let me get to the part.
In the first one, my brothers must know the statistics. At the time, Gabriel Prosser was, do you judge commitment for Pan African with your man's juices dry? I'm a grab water gun, invented a child's school, not friendly. Be business-minded with your child's school, not friendly. Be business-minded with your child's.
So context, he's talking about black mothers who have their children in a public school, but watch how he starts talking about black women. Watch this.
School, I love you too, Karan. Be business-minded with your child's school. You black mothers, y'all come off too friendly. Black fathers tend to know better. 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 But black mothers, y'all go into them schools smiling, laughing, acting like the teacher is your friend. You better stop. Sister Paulina, how you doing, Sister Paulina? How you doing, Sister Paulina? Stop smiling with the school. They not your friend. They not. Show them you mean business. Show up like you mean business. That means, black mother, don't go to the school in your damn pajamas. The next time I see a black mother, you know what? At the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, I'm going to have a Super Soaker water gun. At the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, I'm going to have a Super Soaker water gun. Invented by a black man, by the way. Invented by a black man, by the way. Invented by a black man, by the way. I'm going to have a Super Soaker water gun. And if any black mother walks into the doors of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Pan African Excellence in your pajamas, I'm telling you now, if you walk into my school in your pajamas, I'm a Super Soaker your ass from head to toe. And I'm going to make sure I mess your hair up, your weave in the process. I'm telling you now. See, we an independent school. We can do that. We not a charter school. We not a charter school. We not a public school. We independent. This is Garvey talking.
There is no school.
We independent. So I'm telling all my black mothers now, when you show up to drop your son off at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, stay your ass in the car if you got your pajamas on. Because if you come in my school with your pajamas, I'm a Super Soaker your ass from head to toe. And I'm going to make sure I mess up your blonde weave. I'm telling you now, this is King Kong.
Okay, now if a white person said this or a comedian, it's offensive. But Umar gets a pass.
Come to my school with your damn pajamas on, black mother. You just crawled out the bed after getting bent over, and you're going to come out the house straight out the bed with sex crumbs all over your body. You're going to crawl out the bed and come to my school with sex crumbs all over your body. Looking like a damn ghost because all that makeup you wear done ate your natural skin juices up. All that makeup you wear on your face done ate your natural skin juices up. So you look like a damn ghost without makeup with 10 feet long eyelashes. You show up at my school in some pajamas. I'ma grab the super soaker. I'ma grab the super soaker. I'ma grab the Super Soaker water gun. I'm going to grab the Super Soaker water gun. I'm going to aim at your weave, your perm, your blonde extensions, and I'm a Super Soaker your ass from head to toe. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. FDMG. FDMG is coming, baby. FDMG is coming. You got one time to show up in your pajamas. That is so unprofessional to crawl out your bed.
Here you go.
With your man's juices dried up on your thigh, your juices dried up on your cheeks. And you crawled your ashy ass out the bed with sex crumbs all over you. In your nasty pajamas. And you think you're going to come to the Frederick Douglass. And you think you're going to walk into my school. And then you're going to drop them off late. Most of you pajama queens, most of you pajama mamas, that's what I'm going to call you. Pajama mama. Are you a...
Yeah, he's really smoked out in this one. This is a smoker. He's ranting, but he's tweaking.
Pajama mama. Are you a pajama mama? Are you that pajama mama who be crawling out the bed with sex crumbs on you? Putting your dusty pajamas on flip-flops, crust in your eye, crust stash around your mouth. You didn't go to bed till 4 o'clock, so you woke up late. Because your bend over session didn't start till about 1 in the morning, till Mike got free from selling his weed pack. So Mike didn't get to your house till 1:30. You and Mike didn't go to sleep till 4 o'clock because y'all was making black magic. And so you want to bring your son late. You want to sign him in late. Oh, Dr. Umar, I'm so sorry I overslept. Dr. Umar, I'm so sorry I overslept. And you think you're going to bring your late ass in my school? You think you're going to bring your late ass in my school with sex crumbs all on you? I'm going to line your ass up. I'm going to line you up. I'm telling you right now, black mother. And I'm going to aim at that weave. I'm going to aim at that perm and that blonde hair. Y'all know I can't stand a black woman with blonde hair. You know I.
No, that's his thing. He liked black women that got that blonde, including that stripper. He be posting women with black, they got blonde weave on his Instagram page all the time.
I can't stand a black woman. Oh, I'm going to line you up. And I'm a super soaker your ass. Since you didn't want to wash your ass before you brought your son in, since you didn't want to wash your ass and you crawled out the bed with sex crumbs, since you didn't want to wash your ass, I'm going to put some alkaline water and I'm going to put a little, I'm going to put some what we call it? The African black soap. I'm going to put some African black soap since you don't want to wash your ass before you brought your son to my school after you had the sex crumbs. I'm going to put some African shea butter soap in here with the alkaline water. In fact, I'm going to turn this into a soup. This is a super circle bomb. I'm going to just bomb her ass. I'm going to just bomb. Do.
Yeah. Again, this is all abusive.
Super circle. I can't stand a pajama mama. Always late, always in your pajamas. Always bringing your son to school late, always in your... Do we have any pajama mamas on the live? Be honest, ladies. If you one of those irresponsible, undisciplined, go to sleep late, drop your kid off late, sex crumbs, pajama mamas, where you at?
Meanwhile, he don't take care of none of his kids.
Where my pajama mamas at? Where my pajama? I know some of y'all on here. Stop lying. Where my pajama mom? Some of y'all dropped your son off late to school this morning in your pajamas. Stop lying. Stop lying. Some of y'all dropped your son off late this morning in your damn pajamas with sex crumbs on you.
All right. I got so many other examples that are far more egregious than this one of him talking reckless about black women. Anyway.
Yes. Don't you know Shane Gillis called Lizzo a fat black bitch art on the...
Yeah, and again, it's over the top, okay? But Umar, you was calling Zora fat. Hit the one.
Given their history, allegedly, we are royal. Your podcast to blow up, you know who you need, and now you know what it costs. If you want your podcast, I can evaluate Cherry Hill Snow Bunny's quote leader, Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Queen K. I don't think I can afford them, but I asked you the Atlanta Bob. If I think I can, Tanisha. And it's a sister. Black Women Rock, who comes out and think they're going to damage my festival, so she got mad. I don't really have a question. I just wanted to donate. I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Sister Guerline. And Sister Guerline, I want to close with this. Sister Guerline, I want to close with this. Sister Guerline, I want to close with this because you my Haitian sister and you made the last donation. A few minutes ago, I said I had 2 announcements about scandals. The first one, I got to go back to the Cherry Hill Mall and pick up my suits. I'm going to have to pass the Persian Snow Bunny on the way. So that was the first announcement. Sister Guerline, let me talk to you, my Haitian sister. I'm talking to my Haitian Africans right now. I'm talking to my Haitian Africans right now. I'm talking to my Haitian Africans right now. A couple weeks ago, Tasha K interviewed a Haitian sister, and this Haitian sister did a quote-unquote tell-all interview about your brother, Dr. Umar. And guess what? It was filled with nonsense and lies. And guess what I'm going to have to do, Sister Guerline? When Tasha K drops this trifling interview filled with lies, I'm going to have to expose this Haitian sister for trying to defame my character. I'm going to go live on the internet, Sister Gordline. I'm telling you this because I love my Haitian sisters. We all Africans. I love you and I love the Haitian people. But I want all my Haitians to know that I was violated by a Haitian sister who I respect. I was violated by a Haitian sister who I respect, and she went behind my back and dogged me out because she could not have me. She went behind my back and dogged me out because she could not have me. I never had sexual relations with the woman. I was never alone with the woman. I never had sexual relations with the woman. I was never alone with the woman. But she went on Tasha K. I did not watch the interview. I was sent clips of the interview. I was told she contacted Tasha K. Tasha K is going to drop the interview. So I want all my Haitian family to know right now, I am not attacking my Haitian family. I love my Haitian family. I will die for my Haitian family. I love my Haitian queens. But when this thirsty thought drops this interview with Tasha K, I'm going to bury her ass with the truth.
It's all abusive. He's talking about a black woman.
I don't know what made her pregnant ass go to Tasha K and do an interview on me and try to slander my name because I didn't let her play wifey in the fashion show of the FDMG festival. I didn't let her play wifey in the fashion show of the FDMG festival. I didn't let her play wifey in the fashion show of the FDMG festival. So she got mad and she ran to Tasha K and did a whole interview full of lies. Well, guess what? I got the truth. And I'm going to bury your ass, and you know who I'm talking to, woman. The last thing you should have did was ran your ass to Tasha K. When that interview dropped, I'ma bury your ass with the truth. Don't you ever in your life try to tear me down because I don't want you. Your ass was married and your ass was pregnant, and you had no business wiping the sweat off my face in the FDMG gym that day. You had no business wiping the sweat off my face in the FDMG gym that day. You was married and you didn't even say nothing. And you was pregnant and you didn't even say nothing. And you ran your funky ass to Tasha K. And as soon as Tasha K dropped that interview you did, because I ain't gonna even watch it till it dropped. I'm not even gonna watch it till it dropped. But when it dropped, I'ma bury your ass intellectually. Don't you ever come for me. I'ma bury that ass. So brothers and sisters, on that note.
Say this. I have so many of examples of Umar going off on black women, especially after they're exposing.
That day, you had no business, touched her, never went on a date, and it's a sister. Black women rock. Black touched her, never went on a date, never spent the night with her, never had no cookies and milk. You are delusional. You shouldn't have done it, but I'm glad you did it. Can somebody please get Cardi B and Offset's entertainment attorney? Because I'm a Tasha K, I'm tired of your ass. Can somebody please get Cardi B's entertainment attorney for Tasha K? I'm going to take care of the fat, pregnant married girl. I'm going to take care of her.
See that? See how he calls her fat? So you can do that, Umar, but this comedian can't do it. Now, shouldn't be done. I get it. I've made jokes, and I probably shouldn't have made those jokes too. Okay, but the point is that if you're going to criticize someone for calling a black woman fat, then you shouldn't be calling a black woman fat either. And the difference is you're doing it out of hatred and hatred for black women. This black woman in particular. In the other case, it still shouldn't be done, but it's done in a comedic sense. But you're going to complain about the comedic sense it being done. Yeah, it shouldn't have been done, but you've done it in the past. And this ain't the only time either. Let's go.
Yes. ITCH art on the mic. Yes. What did he say? Something about her flute. He said, I see you with that flute, you fat. He didn't say black. He said, I see you with that flute, you fat BITCH. Guess.
Okay. Yeah, probably shouldn't be. No one should be calling anyone the BITCH. I get it.
Who else he called a BITCH? Tiana Taylor. Tiana Taylor came out. She read her little jokes and things with Kev Hart, right? As she turned to exit, because she didn't sit up there. I didn't see her up there. As she turned to exit, because the exit was right behind the stage, Shane Gillis got up there again after calling Lizzo a fat BITCH. Guess what he says about Tiana Taylor? At least she's good looking, because that B-I-T-C-H is not funny. Did you hear what I just said, Art? At least she's good looking, because that B-I-T-C-H is, he called 2 black women a B-I-T-C-H and didn't get knocked on his ass. George Floyd is
okay. I get him on that. Okay.
looking up at us and laughing so hard that he can't breathe.
Yeah, that's not funny at all. Okay, that shouldn't even have been in there. Anyway.
You making jokes about black people who were murdered by police? That's funny? That's comedy? And let me say this to all the coons.
Umar got his notes.
Because guess what the coons was saying on my Instagram yesterday? You don't understand risque comedy. Nah, house nigga. I understand risque comedy. But what I'm telling you, I don't care what kind of comedy it is. You're not going to disrespect black people, because Art, what they're trying to do is bring back the minstrel show.
Yeah, this is ridiculous right here.
What was the minstrel show, Art? Back from 1830 to 1930. From the Nat Turner War until the heyday of the Marcus Garvey movement, our greatest black movement of modern history, white people would dress up in blackface, Art, and they would play ridiculous, stereotypical black characters. Zip Coon, the Pickaninny, the Mammy, Uncle Tom, the Laughing Sambo, and they made us look like complete animals and morons. And why did they do it, Art? The minstrel shows, which was the most popular form of entertainment in America at that time, were done to do what? Justify the mistreatment of blacks, justify the lynching of blacks, justify the slavery of blacks.
Yeah, that's true.
And guess what, Art? They're trying to do it again.
But that part is not true. How is it doing it again? Because white people are telling jokes about black people. They don't have black face on. White people have been telling jokes about black people forever. And black people have been telling jokes about white people forever. So what are you talking about? This is what I mean by Umar. It's a false equivalency. It's not the same. And minstrelsy, historically speaking, is not the same as a comedy roast that takes place a one shot here on Netflix, Umar. You guys realize that minstrelsy, they had an infrastructure. I mean, it wasn't just here in the United States of America. They were doing that over in Europe too. There's a country in Europe that still, I don't know if they still do it, but about a decade ago that they were still doing it. Okay. This isn't the same thing, Umar, what you're saying here.
They're trying to bring back the minstrel show, with the only difference being now, Art, instead of painting their white faces black, they just going to laugh in our black faces.
What? Doesn't even make sense.
Bring back the minstrel show, with the only difference being now, Art, instead of painting their white faces black, they just going to laugh in our black faces.
No, you're going too far, Umar.
Instead of painting their white faces black, they just going to laugh in our black faces.
Dr. Umar called me a
Okay, so that was some clips from The Art of Dialogue, and that went viral. In particular, the one that's over 1 million views. That in a short period of time, too, relatively short period of time, about a week. These were just some of the clips. Umar has like pretty much a full-on breakdown of he took notes and stuff just on that Netflix roast. And again, I'll say it again. I said it in the beginning. That understand the context in terms of a roast and what happens at a roast, and how comedy in general is used to stretch the envelope. Social norms, sexual norms, racial, how can I phrase this? Yeah, even racial norms, I guess we can call it that. Okay, what's acceptable in terms of how we talk about race here in the United States of America and around the world. Comedy tends to do that. And it's not just white comedians, it's black comedians too. It's just part of it's the nature of comedy. Roast, and then it's on a spectrum. You have comedians who are more vanilla, like they don't really push the envelope. You know, I gave the example of Seinfeld. I didn't find it to be funny. His stand-up comedy wasn't funny to me. A lot of people liked it. But there wasn't anything that was like really, really over the top with him. And there's other comedians that's kind of like how they operate. But then you have people who are more in the middle. Then you have people that are more on the extreme. I gave the example of Paul Mooney, who's my favorite comedian. He would say stuff that would go way too far, but it was funny. Sometimes it was way, way too far. I was like, man. So comedy's on the spectrum. What happens is in a roast, it goes on to the extreme, extreme, extreme. But even that being said, there were jokes that were told in that roast that were not just inappropriate, but racially insensitive. And there's no good reason to have them in. They just weren't funny. Again, comedy is subjective, but it just wasn't funny. And I can see how people would be offended. I didn't take offense because it's just it's like if a white person called me the N-word, I wouldn't take offense. They call one of my kids that, I would probably take offense. I'll probably say something. But if a white person did it, I wouldn't take offense because I would look at it like, okay, you're ignorant. I'm above that and I'm above you. So I ain't tripping. Okay, you call my kid that, I'll probably say something. Don't say it again. He's called it the second time. Okay, you keep running your mouth. Okay. And then if you become a threat, then we got another issue. Right. So in particular, the joke that was told about George Floyd was not only insensitive, but it was also inappropriate and totally unnecessary and disrespectful too. It's just disrespectful and it shouldn't have been told. And there's different levels to this. Number one, someone had to think about this. The writers had to think about this. And in thinking about this joke and formulating this joke, they would have also considered its impact. Like, how would white people receive this? How would black people receive this? How would these other, is it disrespectful or if it's not? I'm sure someone probably say, yeah, it's going to be disrespectful, but let's go ahead and go with it. It makes it into the cut, and then they do the actual roast, and the comedian doesn't say, hey, listen, I'm not going to tell this joke for this reason and that reason. That's another level to it. Then when the joke is told, Kevin Hart doesn't say anything. It stop him on the spot, say, listen, that's too far, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't do that. He goes along with it. Then he gets on the Breakfast Club and he kind of defends. He said, well, I didn't say it. Yeah, but he had creative control and he hired white writers. And when this joke is scripted, he would have seen it and he would have had the authority to say, okay, listen, this joke is not going to be inside of the roast. And that's that. But he allowed it. Okay, problematic all the way across the board. So Umar does a full breakdown of this roast. He takes notes. He goes on our dialogue. It goes viral. And Shane Gillis, he goes in on Shane Gillis. He calls him Neanderthal and some other stuff. And so Shane Gillis does somewhat of a response to it. That's what we're going to get into right now. But it goes to show you that white people are starting to take notice of Umar. And not just because of what he says on our dialogue, because what they're focusing on is FDMG and this school scandal. Right? So let's get into it. Here. Real quick, let me get it caught up on Super Chats. The poll question is, who is the guy that opened the door at the Bando? 16% said Umar's fiend friend, 17% said the plug, 10% said a tenant that lives there, and then 56% said all of the above. I'm going to close that out. Let's do another poll question. Were you offended by the George Floyd joke? And let me check to make sure. Because I thought, I think it's a Y, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Okay, get your vote in during this live stream. We're at 453 likes. Our goal is 500. So if you're enjoying the show at any given point before we start winding this down, we already reached. We got 527. Okay. Thank you guys, everyone who hit that button. Also, thanks to the mods for handling business side of the chat room. Thanks to everyone who sent the super chats. Let me get calling these real quick. I got to do it real quick. Okay. Lenon, cue the video when he went off on Zori. I played it. That's another example, but there's other examples too. The fish tank video is another one. Also, when he went off on his baby mamas, that's another one that we can show how Umar. He's very abusive in his terminology and when he talks about black women, very extremely abusive, far outseating these jokes that were told, in my opinion, because when he talks about black women in this way, it's coming from a place of anger and rage and hatred. Okay? And again, no one should be calling black women, even in jokes, shouldn't be calling black women bitches. But the truth is that many black comedians do that. Many black rappers do that in their songs. This has been going on for decades. You go back to black exploitation films in the 1970s. They were called black women bitches. It was all pimp culture, right? But the point that I'm making is is that if you have a disdain for black women and you disparage black women and you call them out of their name, Umar, you shouldn't complain about when someone else does it, whether that person is black or white. Get your shit together in the first place. That's my point. Okay. Anyway, Zora is another example. I got plenty of other examples I can pull up. I guess sleepwalking was his excuse for in Atlanta. All right, Miss Controversy. Thank you. Baba says, Lenon, play the vid where he's sitting outside the bando pouring a bottle of water on his head. He was screaming. He was high. It was at night. Thanks. Okay, I'll play that to close it out. Yeah, Umar, he was tweaking. He was high as a kite in that video. See, people don't understand a lot of that money that they sent to Umar for these trap bandos, these donations for FDMG. That's what it's gone to. I'll pull it up to close out the show. Thank you, Baba Diddy, for the super chat. Godly Princess in his motel, talking all this mess. Yeah, talking reckless and crazy. Super soaker, talking about how he's going to bomb these black women. Who talks like that? And then he's acting like the thing is a gun. Why are you talking like that? You can't say that you respect black women and you're talking like that. You can't say you love them either if you're talking like that. So if other people disrespecting black women, you're not the one to talk, Umar. Thanks, God, little princess. Tiff, what the pajamas? I don't know. Again, Umar was high. Instead of saying pajamas, he says pajamas. Then he says pajama mamas. So that's what I call it the pajama mama rant. And he was tweaking. That's all that is. Crazy. Thanks, D. Will. Van Varner says he will open the school in 2,157, 4 months, 2 weeks, and 5 days. I used to say 20. I would say stuff like 2057, 2085, just random numbers out there. Okay, again, he said it was supposed to open in 2013. Okay, thanks, Van Varner. Perry, what's up, Perry? Says Brother Ronald Ewa McDonald delivered that food. Okay. No, don't put the EY in there. That's too far. Thanks, Perry. What's up? Ike says, this is what y'all's principal think of black people. Yeah, he has very negative views about black people. Okay, all the way across the board. But he gets a pass because he's black. But when a white person disparages black people, now it's a problem. No one should be doing it, including Umar. Okay, he's a hypocrite in these regards. Okay, thanks, Ike. And then KSJ says, hi, Mr. Lenon. Umar's laziness is a blessing and a curse because no school for the kids, but also no cult to isolate and hurt them. I agree with this. Umar's an extremely lazy person. He always has been, and he always will be. I've researched his whole life. He's a lazy person. Even staying in school for 20 years is about laziness so that he won't have to operate in the real world. Again, from 2001 through 2005, through 2006, he's working as a school psychologist. He's also in school at the same time. But see, the school provided him student loans with an opportunity to kind of delay adulthood. And then he finally gets his PsyD in 2012. By that time, he's not even working as a school psychologist and hasn't since 2010. I give him grace, 2011. Why even get the PsyD by that time? Well, what he does, he gets the PsyD to weaponize that because it's appeal to authority. It's a fallacy that somehow because he has a PsyD that he's an actual school psychologist and as he claims a therapist and a child therapist and a family therapist, he's none of those things. He's not even a school psychologist. So the point is that laziness is part of Umar Johnson's problem. That's why I'll tell you, it's two things. It's laziness and also he's not organized. He doesn't know how to organize anything, which ties to his ADHD. And he's admitted that he has that too. And then on top of all of that, he's a dope fiend. That's a problem. He likes to gamble. That's a problem. He's gluttonous. That's a problem. You put all these things together and more. He's been homeless since 2019. That's a problem. And then he has everything to say about what black people need to be doing. And he gets on Art of Dialogue, and it's just celebrity gossip. That's all that is. Okay, nothing uplifting and complaining about shit. Don't watch it. Anyway, thank you. And you're right. See, the thing is that the fact that there will never be a school that comes into fruition actually saves black boys from unnecessary pain and suffering at the hands of Umar. That's a saving grace in all this. He don't even treat his own children the right way. And he talks reckless about black women and single black mothers who's going to have their children at these fake schools that doesn't exist. Real reckless. He's talked reckless about black children. He's talked about little girls' private parts. He called them rotten cookies. That's what he said about little girls. And that the ones that have been violated go on to get he called it the thoughtish personality disorder. He's calling them hoes too. This is y'all's principle, not mine, not my, Anyway, thank you, KSJ. And I remember one time Umar said that if the boys act up at his school, they're going to take them in the back to the black room and pound their damn chests in. That's what he said. Okay, thank you for the super chat. And Sonia says, so Umar can take all those notes about the roast, but can't start a school or tell the donors where their money is going. Yeah, okay, yeah. Isn't that deep? And listen, Umar just didn't watch it one time straight through. He's sitting there pausing, writing stuff down, rewinding, writing stuff down. And then he gets on the podcast to talk about it. I mean, he should have had his ass up there at these trap. That's time that instead of watching Netflix, Umar, you should probably your mama calls, and what you should have done is you should have been up these trap panels getting work done. That's what you should have done. Instead of going to our dialogue, that's what you should be doing. Flying out there, taking the time. No, you should be up there because you raised millions of dollars for a school that doesn't exist, and not one black child has been educated. He starts this, he conceptualized this in 2004. In 2010, he says the school's going to open September 11, 2013. It's now June 1st of 2026. Where's the school at? But he got time to go and do these our dialogue and go do it because they're going to give him some money. Then what happens is it gets a lot of views, at least on this platform. The other platform he was on, he didn't get shit. Because our dialogue, he already has his infrastructure in place. And what does Umar do? He gets on his Instagram and posts that. He posts it over and over again. Look at me, look at me, look. But Umar, what have you built? Even on social media, what have you built? Let alone a school. See, with Umar, it's all about attention. It's all about attention. See him up there at these trap bandos actually getting stuff done. He ain't gonna get no attention. He wants money though. But him getting on the art of dialogue and gets 1 million views, he's gonna post it on Instagram. When was the last time y'all saw Umar give an update on FDMG, a full walkthrough? But he'll post this celebrity gossip shit. You know, Umar, real talk, you like a male Wendy Williams. And no disrespect to Wendy Williams, but it's just celebrity gossip. That's all you do. And you talk shit about successful black people. That's all you do. And again, I'm not talking about the Kevin Hart roast. Like I said, Kevin Hart's not funny to me. Hasn't been for a very long time. And the roast itself, I wasn't impressed by it. A lot of shit wasn't funny. Some of it was funny. I think it would go over the top, and some of the jokes shouldn't have been told in the first place. And Kevin Hart should have checked that prior to them even doing the live. But he did. But out of all things, that's what Umar focuses on. And real talk, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Out of all things this year, that's what people are gonna remember Umar for. Not for opening up a school, not for getting renovations done or putting in a certificate of occupancy or starting a community program in Wilmington, Delaware, which he hasn't done over the last 7 years. He's not gonna be remembered for anything that's substantive outside of him running his fucking mouth. Because that's what Umar Johnson does. Okay, let's finish this up, everybody. So we're going to watch and it's short, we're going to watch the Jay Billis, his response to Umar Johnson. Here we go. Where'd it go? Oh, wait, I think I actually took it off. Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay. It's after this one. Here we go. Thanks, sir. Thanks, Sonia, for the super chat. Everyone else, too, thanks for all of the super chats. Okay, I appreciate it. Hope I didn't miss anybody. It was a gang of them. Appreciate y'all.
Call me a Neanderthal.
Tell him you want to see the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy open, and then you'll talk. Ask him about the school.
Yeah.
See, I think that's important because more people are asking questions about this school scam, and a lot of people don't know enough about it. Okay, again, like I said, back in 2010, Umar stated the school was going to open September 11, 2013. But the point is that the more mainstream folk start looking into Umar Johnson and the FDMG school scam, the better. Okay, I don't really care about the whole roasting. People, whatever. Listen, if people want to go at Umar because of that, that's fine too. I get it. But really, I would hope that the mainstream, what they really start to look into is FDMG, and then the money that Umar Johnson has received, because it's a scam, millions of dollars, and he hasn't produced anything. Here we go.
To get Dr. Umar? Ask him about the school. I tried to get him on. He charges like fucking $10,000 to come on.
Yeah, but if they paid him $5,000, he'll go on. He'll go on there. Well, the truth is, he probably wouldn't go on to a show like this because they would probably ask some critical questions. And Umar, he goes on our dialogue because it's a softball interview. They don't ask anything about FDMG. None of that.
We should pay it.
It would be funny. He's really funny.
I
like
actually,
him.
to be honest, I like Dr. Umar.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm not just saying that. I enjoy watching him. I think.
Yeah, and I think he's genuine in that he likes the comedic aspect of Umar, and that's why people have to understand something about Umar. Umar is looked at as a clown. He's looked at as real talk, and Umar brought it up. But Umar, he's a minstrelsy. Okay, remember how he was talking about minstrel shows and making connections? What he was saying about minstrel shows, yeah, historically speaking, that's true. In terms of what was going on, it was one of the dominant forms of entertainment here in the United States of America, and then it extended itself to other countries around the world. But Umar, in terms of how he operates, he's shucking and jiving. Everything is a stage show. You know, even the whole idea that he's a Pan Africanist and wearing dashiki, it's just all it's a fabrication. And so I'm gonna be real about it. White people find him to be entertaining too, just like I find him to be entertaining. He's still a scammer though. So Umar, I think he doesn't realize it, but Umar, he's part of the problem because he epitomizes all of these negative stereotypes about Black men, including deadbeat, including he don't have a job, including he don't take care of his kids, including that he got all these baby mamas. Let me play something for you all right quick.
To Britain to build up this country, okay? I've heard everything you had to say this evening. Now, on top of all of that, all of us are sitting here, we have all got children ourselves. You targeted one thing for me this evening is, the speech that you're making this evening is well and good doing it to us, but it's the children after us that need to be hearing this. Because I'm going to be dying, and my next generation is my children and everybody else's children in this room, who at the end of the day is not hearing this preaching.
We need to teach them.
Now, I'm going to say one thing to you, yeah? I told my son, my youngest, he's 27 years old, he was raised appropriately, he works, he has a profession, okay?
Oh.
I told him, I'm coming to Birmingham to see you. He said, oh, I said I'm going to see Umar Johnson. He went, no, Mum, you're going to see Dr. Umar. And I said that was great. Then I told him how I watched you the other day on WhatsApp about your honey bunnies, no white bunny, chocolate bunny, which color bunny, and you was promoting all our Black sisters. Do you know what my son said to me? He said, Mum, I understand all that. But and I'm just going to quote what my 27-year-old said to me, who actually knows about you. Well, I don't know what he knows, but what he said was, Mum, why is it, if he's talking about representing the Black sisters, and the Black sisters, our brothers need to know who we are, and be dating the Black sisters in the community, or go and find them in every other race. He said, why is it that Dr. Umar has three, please let me just say this, right? Why does he have 3 children with 3 baby mothers? And if they're all Black queens, why has he not taken one of those queens and made them his absolute queen, and showed the Black brothers that no matter what children you have, one of your mothers should be your permanent wife. That's what my son said to me.
That's powerful. I got a question. When did I get a third baby mom and a third baby?
I don't know.
When did I get a third baby mom and a third baby?
Yeah, see him screaming? And he does. He has 3 baby mamas. I have the receipts on that. And then the 4th one tried to put him on child support, but was unsuccessful. The point is that the reason why he doesn't want to acknowledge the 3rd baby mama is because he impregnated her when he was in his early 40s. She was in her early 20s.
Can I just say, I I did say to my son, no, but listen, Dr. Umar, I did say to my son, when you are in the media, people will find a way to discredit you. So please don't listen to everything that you hear.
Yeah, but he is a deadbeat, and he don't take care of his kids. He got at least 3 baby mamas in Philadelphia alone. I have the receipts. Okay, let's get back to it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
When he does the things when people can call in and send things in.
Yes. When he reads his live chat and he blocks people.
It's the best.
It's awesome.
He does do that.
No, it's funny because he reads what they say.
He knows this. He's got to know. I want to see the school.
I mean, I think it's funny getting called a Neanderthal.
It's hilarious.
I was all right with it.
Yeah, and I get it. They're I think both of them are comedians, but the thing is that it's the idea that they're Neanderthals is based upon it's a racial thing too. It's not stated by Umar Johnson as a term of endearment. It's like a racialized negative comment about another group of people. So I'm trying to think of an example that I can use, that I can think of outside of talking about white people. I can't really think of one. Yeah, I can't really think of one. But the point is that the reason why he does that is to disparage white people. He will call them a Neanderthal. Okay. Yeah, basically. Let me stop. Okay. Yeah, it's like the sun people, ice people thing that he says. Anyway, let's keep going. I gotta check something soon. I'll keep going. I'll be right back.
Yeah. It's fucking kind of.
I don't know if he's trying to be funny. If he's actually upset, I apologize to Dr. Umar.
Yeah, I don't think he's upset, but the joke should not have been told, and I've already explained that. And Jay Billis, even when they wrote that in, he could have objected. He could have said, "Hey, listen, I'm not going to do that," and it shouldn't be in there. But he did it anyway, so it shouldn't have been done. Okay. Really, he should apologize for telling the joke. That's what he should do. Don't apologize to Umar, because Umar, he talks negative about black people too. Okay. Anyway,
I think he's smart. He's a smart guy. I think he knows what plays.
Probably edit this out, but I was thinking about purchasing his school and naming it the Robert E. Lee School for.
Come on, yeah. All right. You should purchase it because they ain't gonna do nothing with it anyway.
It's only.
Oh, it wasn't him that said that. I thought he did. Which one was it then? Am I getting them mixed up? Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm getting them mixed up. I apologize. This was a guy named Tony, right? Yeah, that was a guy named Tony Hinchcliffe. Okay, I apologize. Okay. So Umar's mad at him for another reason. My bad. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, I got it mixed up. This is someone else. This is a guy named Tony Hinchcliffe. I ain't heard of him either. Okay, let's keep going. I got to check something. I'll be right back.
I'm going to name it Neanderthal Robert E. Lee.
All right. It's not that funny. Come on.
Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon Academy.
What about school for the Aztec School for the Lads?
Aztec School for the Lads. Oh, crazy.
That'd be tight.
I think making it, hold on, the Robert E. Lee, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon School for Higher Learning, and then actually dumping a ton of money in it and making it really successful and actually helping the community, just as a bit, dude.
That would be a good bit.
It's a good bit.
I just want to see it open, man. I'm not trying to break the guy's balls. I've been hearing about the school for a while. I'm like, oh, that's
what happened with the school?
It's never open. It's been fucking 10 years.
Open the school.
It's got to open the school. I mean, especially before he starts coming at,
Neanderthals?
He shouldn't even watching the roast. Get the school going, bro.
True.
What the hell are you doing? Get the fucking school going.
I agree with that.
It is I don't know. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing to just have the school going and be like, dang, they wiped out my.
Okay. I apologize. I had to get a package, but let me go back because I want to hear what they said in full.
Crazy.
That'd be tight.
I think making it, hold on, the Robert E. Lee, Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon School for Higher Learning, and then.
Yeah. Someone corrected me, so I apologize for that. It's another guy named Tony Hinchcliffe.
And then actually dumping a ton of money in it and making it really successful and actually helping the community.
See that people are aware, and more people are becoming aware of the FDMG school scam, which is good.
Just as a bit, dude.
That would be a good bit.
It's a good bit.
I just want to see it open, man. I'm not trying to break the guy's balls. I've been hearing about the school for a while. I'm like, oh, that's
yeah. What
nice.
happened with the school?
It's never open. It's been fucking 10 years.
Got to open the school.
It's got to open the school. I mean, especially before he starts coming at
Neanderthals.
He shouldn't be watching the roast. Get the school going, bro.
True.
What the hell are you doing? Get the fucking school going. It is I don't know. It's a funny thing. It's a funny thing to just have the school going and be like,
yeah, I mean, it's real talk, because Umar, that should be his only focus. And it should have been his only focus from the jump, but that's not the case. What Umar has done is he's used the idea of opening up a school to collect millions of dollars, and he's not, again, it's supposed to open in 2013. He's been sitting on these trap banners for over 7.5 years, and not one black child has been educated. So the point I want to make is that it's important that people outside of the black community realize what's taking place with this FDMG school scam, and then talk about it, because that will bring more attention to it. See, Umar doesn't realize him running his mouth, it actually puts more spotlight on the school scam. And the more people that wake up to that, the better.
Dang, they wiped out my
We're almost done too, by the
way. You know that happened, right?
No, what?
Wiped out his fucking account, so he got hacked.
Oh,
yeah. By the way, Umar, he said that I hacked his bank account. And that was just another excuse by Umar Johnson. But that goes to show you they've been watching. And that guy right there in particular, he may have seen some of these live streams. Okay. But Umar has all types of excuse why the school's not hasn't come into fruition. And last year he said that his bank accounts were hacked, and he tried to blame it on me. And said, remember, he was talking about how he was gonna have to hire a lawyer and all this other stuff. No.
Shit.
Fucking hell, the money ready to get the school going. They wiped out his damn account.
Somebody hacked him and stole all his money. And it wasn't him. He didn't spend it. Somebody else did. Yeah. Son of a bitch. That keeps happening.
Dude, I was like, no. I immediately donated.
I don't want it.
He put the cash.
He lying. You didn't donate. He didn't even have CashApp back then. His CashApp got shut down by then.
Stop. I immediately
smoke with him.
I for real genuinely enjoy him. I think he's fun. His shit, his just like vigilance on the snow bunnies.
Yeah, he was gonna. Yeah, I think he was gonna say his stand up, because I think they see Umar as like a comedian. He is. He's funny.
This is my favorite. Yeah. It's my favorite. Someone needs to stay fucking focused, man.
Oh yeah, he would.
Sorry, Nate. But someone.
He probably gets, what I think is they got a black guy in there that probably work with him, and he'd be dealing with white women. That's why I think he said that. He started laughing. Anyway, I think that they were offended by the snow bunny stuff, even though they're trying to act like they're not.
Also, right back at you.
True.
You know?
Yeah, they're almost done.
Dr. Umar should like me, dude. He should hate.
Why? He be dealing with they're not funny to me. Valerie said these dudes ain't funny. Now, the thing is that, again, humor is relative. The comedy is relative. There's probably other people that enjoy this. That's like I was using the example of Seinfeld. I never found it to be funny. But there's a lot of people. Another one is that lady Schuler or something like that. She's not funny to me. Not at all. Like, I was sitting there like, why are people laughing at this? Amy Schumer or something like that.
You guys. What the fuck?
True. I wasn't even thinking of my own sins. Damn.
I should get him on at the link. Let him just give a talk.
Please.
No comedy. Just give a nice 5-minute speech on kill Whitey and get off stage.
These guys ain't funny.
I mean, the boo would be thunderous.
The boo would be awesome.
All right. Anyway, I just want to point out that more people are taking notice. It's not so much about Umar specifically. It's about the school scam dealing with FDMG. The more people who start to talk about that, even bring it up, even if they're joking about it, the better, because that it gets things closer to critical mass. And if it ever gets to critical mass and IRS steps in and says, okay, we're going to do an audit of the financials, Umar, they'll know very quickly that he's scammed, and there's at least $1.5 million that's just missing, at least. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I want to thank everyone who sent in super chats during this live stream. Now, tomorrow, we will get together tomorrow. what I have for tomorrow is Umar. He did an interview a couple of days ago, and we're gonna get to the interview. And from what I understand, James told me that Umar, that they were on there talking shit about me. They didn't say my name. Again, I'll take James' word for it. When we watch it tomorrow, we'll see whether or not they were referring to me. We'll be able to tell, or they may be talking bad about the CashApp. We'll have to wait and see. That's what we're going to do for tomorrow. I want to thank everyone again for tuning on in. Thanks to everyone who hit that like button during this live stream. Our goal was 500. We got up to 554. So thank you guys so much for that. Also, thanks to everyone who voted on the poll question. The first one, the second one, let me go ahead and close this up. Were you offended by the George Floyd joke? 62% said yes, 38% said no. And I'll go ahead and close out that poll. Okay, I wasn't offended. I thought that it was inappropriate, that it shouldn't have been said. I think it was racially insensitive. What I thought about was why would they tell that joke in the first place? Who wrote that joke? And then why did Kevin Hart allow that? I think that there's a deeper questions there. Was it wrong? In my opinion, yes. Okay, but again, I have the right, whenever I'm dealing with ignorance or stupidity, I always reserve the right to, okay, am I going to be offended? Do I choose to be offended by that, or am I not going to be offended? In this case, I chose not to, because ignorance is all over the place, and people are going to do what they're going to do. It's stupid, it's ignorant, and it wasn't funny, okay, in my opinion, right? Okay, thank you guys again for tuning on in. I appreciate y'all's presence, and we'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. And as we always do,
what y'all got to do is come together and use your spiritual power to get what y'all need from black men. Now, y'all look around Detroit, y'all say, we ain't got no schools, we ain't got no industries, we ain't got no factories. You know how you can get them? Let all y'all come together as a sisterhood and say, guess what? Cookie shop shut until I see 2 schools. Do you know how fast them damn schools are? You got to use your cookie power. I'm serious about that. If you say no cookie till the school is built, we gonna eat, sleep, drink, or nothing. Brother Umar, you gonna take it out? Hell no. I'm serious. You got to use your cookie power. You keep giving out rewards before the work is done. And that's why a lot of black women are miserable and nasty as hell, because you fail to realize that in order to give yourself some balance, you got to shut down the damn oven and stop baking cookies every once in a while.
Women without strong emotional bonds with their father are more likely to mistake lust for love, especially when the sex is good. He hit that spot, booyah, I love you. No, you don't. You in lust, but you don't know what love is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? That lightning strike, boom! I love you, boo. Because if I'm in love with you, I know you. I know you ain't going no damn where. This lightning rod, you ain't leaving me. You could think, but then y'all get intimate, now you can't think no more. Be honest with yourself, black woman. Yesterday you knew you should have left him alone. But last night, y'all crossed that line. And he hit you with a lightning bolt. Boom! Now you can't see straight no more. And then your girlfriends are like, what you think? When you gonna call it off? When you gonna let him know you don't want to be bothered? Well, I've been thinking, everybody deserves a second chance. Boom! He hit that spot, booyah! I love you. No, you don't. That lightning strike, boom! I love you, boo. This lightning rod, you ain't leaving me. And he hit you with a lightning bolt. Boom! Boom! Booyah! Boom! Booyah! Boom! Boom! Booyah! Boom! 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 Booyah! Booyah! Booyah!
all right. Thank you guys again for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it's a sensitive topic, but I'm of the opinion that we can either decide to deal with things without getting offended, or we can be offended perfectly fine too. It's totally fair. All right.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's coming.
Shazam. I ain't heard that in a long time.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. It's
Thank you, Derek,
coming.
for tuning in. I appreciate you.
It's coming.
Mr. Sangeeta, GTO.
It's coming.
What about Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna pull that up tomorrow. I'll pull that up tomorrow. I apologize. Yeah. I will pull that up tomorrow.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
FDMG is coming. FDMG is coming. Thought his personality be twerking. It's twerking.
Yeah, it is. Okay, thank you guys. I forgot to pull up the video with Umar tweaking with the water bottle situation. I'm going to pull that up tomorrow. We'll get into that first. Okay, I just put it in my notes here. That'll be the first thing we do tomorrow before we get into the interview, Umar's most recent interview. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. I also want to thank the mods for handling business. I appreciate everyone who sent their super chats. Thank you for the support. Also, if you sent in Cash App, I forgot to on my Cash App to hit that thing this last week for people who sent in super chats where it's like thank you, and I forgot. Now I went back to do it. By that time, it didn't allow me. So if you sent in Cash App last week, I want to thank you, and I apologize for not hitting that button to acknowledge that through Cash App. Okay, thank you guys for your support. And then I want people to just remind people. I hope that Kevin Hart learns a lesson. I just think he's so disconnected from your everyday Black people. He's in the industry, and he's been in that industry, and he's risen in that industry to great heights. It would have been it would have looked a lot better if he had stopped this from getting this far out of control. But then I think it just exasperated the situation when he goes on the Breakfast Club and kind of defends it all. The joke was inappropriate, and there's really no defense for it. It shouldn't have been told, and it's unfortunate that it was. But the other thing too is, like I said before, I'm 50 years old now. One of the things I've learned about being a Black male is that we can choose to be offended by stuff, or we can choose not to be. I gave an example today where I just greeted this white guy. He didn't even say nothing back to me. He kind of looked at me kind of goofy. I could have chosen to be offended in that situation. But I just said to myself, okay, whatever. Okay, maybe he's having a bad day, and if he's not, then so what? Okay, that's just move on. Well, the thing is that with the joke, when I heard the joke, it was inappropriate. I remember my wife was like, I can't, and I said, did he really just say that? Inappropriate, shouldn't have been told, shouldn't even been in the roast in the first place. But I made a conscious choice not to be offended by it. Okay, because ignorance is going to be there. Okay, no matter what, we're not in control of how other people think, what they write, the jokes that they tell. But we are in control in terms of how we react to it. The best thing I think that we can do is to talk about it. And that's what I attempted to do here. And I really wish that people would just be who they are. If you're racist, just be outwardly racist. Okay. If you have negative views about Black people, just express those negative views. Okay. If you have negative views about white people, just express them. I wish we would live in a society where people can do that, but we're not in a place to do that. And people are uncomfortable because if you do and be who you are, then you can get canceled, you can lose your job, the list goes on and on and on. But in this case, the joke shouldn't have been told. I just chose not to be offended by it. Okay, but people who are offended by it, you have every right to do that, and I respect that as well. Okay, thank you guys so much for tuning on in. We'll be back tomorrow with another live stream. Okay, please enjoy the rest of your evening. I love y'all. Take care. Peace.